Hey everybody, good evening. It's a wonderful Thursday night here in Florida, Friday morning in Seoul, South Korea. We've got Bob Layton, he'll be joining us first, but we got a busy show tonight. I got three guests who are going to OAX joining us to get the show started off, one after another, and each has pre-con opportunities that we're going to be announcing as well today. So big show, lots of things to go over. It will be going to midnight. I am certain of that. Midnight Eastern for those of you in my same time zone. So first up, we've got Bob Layton. We were just chatting in the green room with Mr. Wayshak as well. It turns out John is half Korean, so he was jealous that Bob's getting to hang out in Korea. As you know, Bob's been there for at least a month now, back to Korea, and he's been doing his regular drink and draws. Joey's going to be joining us as well, but we've got a video clip to get things started here of the last week that Bob has spent in Seoul. He did a little bit of shopping. He ran into an old friend, and he did his drink and draw. So we're going to see what he's been up to.
So I'm on my way to meet Unso in Etowan, where we're going to go shopping for some winter clothes. So more on that a little bit later, and you guys will get to see what it's like to shop in Korea. Wait a minute, Unso, what am I eating? Okay, that doesn't explain it. And yes, that's ice in hers. They actually make like noodle slushies here. Yeah, look at it is. So they got that great picture of me standing up against this thing like this.
Maybe like this.
Tell me when you're ready.
Right.
Well, hi guys. Look, and I stopped at the Marvel store on our shopping spree or whatever. I have to go buy her a winter coat. That was part of our deal. But look who I ran into, an old friend of mine. How about that? So we thought maybe take a look around, see that this is an actual store in the mall. So give them a scan around the room there. Hey guys, how you doing? There you are. Where's my little friends at? Yeah, good to see you again.
Hiyo.
Hello, Bill and Cassara. How you doing? It's another episode of Drink and Draw here Thursday night. So tonight our theme is what?
Our theme is spooky Halloween.
Because the place was actually closed for us because of gamers having a 2-night Halloween special or whatever. This was the first night we could get the place. We got Halloween decorations all around, which you'll see later. Anyway, so we're going to do like Halloween 2 days after. All right, so we're going to do our spooky night now because when we sell this stuff in December, nobody will know we missed Halloween by 2 days anyway, right? Yeah, exactly. So on with the show. We'll see you later.
Hey, Bob and Joey, here again.
We're back.
Hey, nice to have you back, Joey.
Hey,
We were wondering where in the world was Joey Kroner. Fortunately, we got him back here in Korea. You know, not a moment too soon.
Well, that's good. Hey, Steve Lipsky said in the chat that he wants a noodle slushy all of a sudden. I mean, how,
Well, that's Joey. Explain what that is.
So that so with the cold noodles, there's two kinds. There's the mulnaengmyeon, or like the water noodles, and then the mixed noodles, the bibimnaengmyeon. So the one he got was the one that it just comes with sauce and you mix it up, and then the one that Unso got was with like a cold broth in it.
It's literally a noodle slushy.
Yeah, they have a thing that makes the slush. It's like a broth.
It's a broth slush.
It's really nice when it's hot outside.
Yeah.
no larva in it? Just
No.
all
I
just
told her we're still trying to find the penis fish thing. You know, it's like
Yeah, I haven't seen that around as
No.
much.
Well,
When I lived in
Golly,
all the time.
I can't imagine why penis fish isn't popular. You know, because
Wow.
I mean, I
I'm popular with the ladies. I don't know, but
even if I find it,
they're not in season.
the memes that will be generated from it, I think are nightmarish.
I just can't even picture it, but I'm sure you will get all the video footage you can when you get to try it out. So, but looked like a good night. I didn't see, when you said it was going to be kind of a Halloween theme, I was expecting, Hobgoblin, some of those kind of characters, but everybody just kind of did their own thing.
Well, that's again, we tried to be kind of like not restrictive. What happened last week when I was freeform? I told them that they draw whatever they wanted. They all sat there like rocks, So they need some kind of guidance. But as long as I kind of like what Impio did, where he had Tom and Jerry, and Tom's wearing Jerry's head.
Yes,
yeah,
really
just as
fun.
each other. I thought it was very cute.
it was.
Yeah, sometimes they do some clever stuff. Interestingly enough, the really ornate cartoon thing was there was
up one.
Yeah, was done by a woman who was interviewing Joey from the Korean Herald.
Yeah, so one of the big news outlets wants to do a piece on the shop and on some different like kind of expat owned businesses and things and communities in Seoul. And she came to just check out the vibe of the shop, and I was like, "Well, you want to stay and draw? Do you draw?" And she's like, "Yeah, I've been drawing since I was a kid."
And
All
she
right,
kills
that's
it,
something.
right? And she actually was a ringer. She comes in and did like this incredible piece, right? But
Well,
we're going to be doing
we'll be
more
back.
with her. Let's go on.
Yeah, she had a really good time.
Yeah.
She liked the food too.
So let's talk some OAX, okay?
Oh yeah, why don't we talk? What were you doing in that Marvel store before? I was curious before.
Joey, tell them about the Marvel store.
So there's a few Marvel stores around Korea. That one is in a mall that's kind of in the middle of Seoul.
Huh?
And yeah,
I took Unso there
pretty
to
big.
buy a coat because part of the deal was I said, you take me shopping because I have to go to Big and Tall here in order to shop. And she got me a great deal on, I got like 5 bags of winter clothes, man. All kinds of stuff, brand names, whatever. And she got $200 knocked off of it for me. She played the Marvel card, told them who I was because they're Iron Man crazy here. So as soon as they found out what it was, I had to do a drawing for the store for their Wall of Fame.
Mhm.
But she got $200 knocked off the deal. So it was like, that was pretty good. So part of my deal with her was that I would buy her a winter coat. Now, if you know anything about Korean women, unlike us guys who are pretty much satisfied with anything that fits well, they like labels. So we had to go to another mall. Where was that mall at?
that's the I Park Mall.
Yeah, I Park Mall. That would not mean anything to you. But so she could buy a brand name coat, because it's very important.
Of course.
And cashmere on top of that. All right. But she looked great. We found a perfect coat for her. She looks great. But I said, while we're here, let's stop in and see Bach at the Marvel. So that kind of got cut out where I was talking to Bach about because he was saying, like, hey, why don't we? He had no idea I was living in Korea. So I talked to Joey here before, while we were in the green room about maybe doing something with the Marvel store.
Well, that's cool. And who would have thought that you could just draw something on the wall and they'd give you $200 off? That's a wonderful thing. I might.
That's
I ever get
Korea.
there-
It's currency. How many times have I done that when we've been in restaurants and stuff?
Yeah,
At least a half a dozen times.
Well, there's kind of a thing here where if you got a celebrity in your restaurant, you give them a piece of like copy paper and then they'll write a message and do a big signature, and a lot of the celebrities have like big ornate signatures and stuff, and then they laminate them and collect them on the wall. So
yeah, but you go into that Marvel store, it's about 80% Iron Man. You know, it's like crazy with figurines and toys and all that kind of stuff.
a lot of Iron Man.
Yeah, the first time that Joey and Cleo took me in there, that we started a small riot when they told them who I was. So I said, well, why don't we do an organized riot? That would be more fun, you know, where we get a chance to push some paper for Joey's store too.
Yeah,
you know, because they don't sell comics there. So we're going to try to set something up for that.
That's weird.
Holidays are coming. It'd be a good time.
Not a single comic in place. Just
no, because
clothing, statues.
We had some of the Korean trades and stuff.
But it's here. It's all MCU. You know, in Korea mostly. That's why Joey and I have been trying so hard to promote, you know, comic books and comic book. It's Doodles. It's basically an Iron Man store. Because that in Korea, Iron Man is their most popular character of Western culture. I mean, you know how when we're talking to strangers, we refer to Superman, and everyone knows Superman, right? Your mom knows Superman, right? I think that's the way Iron Man is in Korea. Everybody just knows who he is.
You may never leave. I mean, this is like you could be.
I may never. I have to go make my movie as soon as the strike. As you know, Bill. They walked away from the table on Tuesday, so the strike is still going on.
I read that.
Until the strike's over, I'm here with Joey, my pal Joey. You know,
nothing wrong with that. You'll be doing more drinking draws. You'll be sampling more Korean fare.
That is an institution that will continue long after I go to Sweden to make the Helix. Yeah,
I think next week we've got Yoon Sung-han that does he does some covers for a bunch of different comics. He might show up and participate. And on November 30th, we'll have Minkyu Jung that does Star Wars Dr. Aphra and City Boy.
Oh, and we're going to do a Star Wars themed night where it's non-Star Wars characters as Star Wars characters.
Yeah, so
that's going to be our theme. You know, we're going to do it on Star Wars boards, on little Bristol boards with Star Wars logos on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we figured that'll be a great charity thing for kids, because kids here love Star Wars.
Star Wars used to be not so popular here, and it's started getting some traction.
Yeah. So
I think part of what it is like people my age are nostalgic for the original movies. So then it had a big resurgence like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And then when now the kids here are nostalgic for the prequel movies, and now it's been about 20 years, so now they're starting to kind of get a resurgence in popularity.
Go figure. Don't get me started, but there you go.
Steve Lipsky said Dr. Doom is Darth Vader. So what time is it in South Korea right now?
Well, it's 13 hours difference. So we're right now it's 10 o'clock in the morning here. It's 10:15.
10:15. Okay. So
we have to get up early because we drink and draw went till midnight last night. By the time Joey and I got home,
fun and hanging out.
And so we go home, and he and I stopped. We had, I had a non-alcoholic beer, and we sat on the corner and watched the Korean drunks stumble by, because we have a game where whoever spots the most drunks wins.
Who usually wins?
1 point if they fall down, 2 points if they barf.
This place is in kind of a drinking area.
Yeah, I'm in
you see a lot of people
you see the street, right?
Not everybody at that point.
It's all Las Vegas-y. So
I thought about making some different bingo cards for.
Joe and I sit on the corner. That's why I kind of missed him. I said, we haven't played Spot the Drunk in a while, because on the street I live is like little Las Vegas kind of thing, with nothing but bars and late night places.
Mm-hmm.
You see the pictures of it. It's all lit up and neon and stuff. And so if we sit at the 7-Eleven on the corner, they have tables out there. And just wait when people go by. You just count the people stumbling out of these places. And so we set up a system where, it's like, you get 1 point for a drunk, 2 points if they fall down, 3 if they puke.
See, now South Korea is not sounding as appealing now all of a sudden.
No. Listen, everybody has
part of the
look. You know me. I've been recovered 35 years.
Yeah.
It's like nobody has more sympathy than that. I'm just saying that they just tend to party really hard here. It's kind of part of their whole culture. It's like, especially on a Friday night after they're out at work or whatever.
I
Because
wonder
the
where,
pressure,
like Tony Stark and Iron Man, they're all into that.
yeah, well,
phase of-
it all resonates, doesn't it?
it does.
But,
It's full
but
circle.
I know it's slightly cruel, but hey, it's like you said, been there, done that. I used to be one of
Demon
them.
in a
Okay?
bottle returns.
Nice thing is the drinking culture has changed a lot in the last like 15 years too. So that 15 years ago, you'd see a lot more people on the street. Like I pulled a guy out from under a parallel parked car that was passed out once. So
We saw pictures of
on
Jason's
Facebook?
Halloween party. We know he likes to tip a few back.
Yeah,
don't even
Jason,
know.
Joey will knock a few beers back with you. What's
Oh,
great here is
man.
they get really good non-alcoholic beer because I still love the taste of beer.
Well,
But you
that's
can't. What you can't get is tacos or pizza though with it. So Joey and I a lot of times after drink and draw, we'll just sit on the corner of the 7-Eleven and have a beer and just watch people watch and shoot the shit. Plus, we're just catching up because, like I said, we haven't seen each other for a while. So Castro showed one of the drawings that I've been doing. Now that I'm set up here in the apartment,
Mhm.
I got my drawing board as you saw and everything like that. And the printer, don't get me started on the printer. It's like, just really quick.
Mhm.
The printer I bought from Germany on eBay works perfectly fine. The trouble is Epson makes a different cartridge for Europe than it does for America. So the American cartridges don't work in it. The only way I can get
You're halfway
thing,
there.
The only way I can get the thing to print is to buy cartridges in Germany.
Well, you're learning a few things down there, and you got to sell that to a German. Maybe when you
well, that's why it was. I guess that's why it was. I didn't invest a lot. I paid $350 for it. The machine usually runs about $1,700. And somebody had it for $350. I told Joey, I said, I'll roll the dice with this. It's like, because if it shows up and it's perfectly working condition, then that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can scan my stuff and I can do a post on them to make them look nicer. Because shooting with an iPhone just does not do true color or anything like that. But you have the Iron Man piece that I did? You put up there?
I don't know if I downloaded that one. I'm sure I've got it. Now this is like the one that you just did from.
Yeah. I did him standing there with his.
Oh yeah. Very majestic. Like, let me see here.
Yeah, that was the first thing I got to do here once I had all my equipment. But I'm doing a whole series of them that I'm bringing to OAX. All this, a ton of single figure characters, all in full color. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, for an old guy. Yeah, I'm doing a whole crap load of those. I did Captain America, I did Doctor Doom, did Spider-Man. I sent them all to Castro, but he didn't put them on the show. But they are up on my CAF site. Okay, so
because you can get there now.
Yeah, you can get there now. Yeah, I had to download a VPN, but now I can get on CAF myself. I did. I'm doing a whole series of these that I'm going to bring to OAX. Notice that segue right into the show there,
right?
Bill?
Yeah, I did. You, Bob, you're a professional when it comes to stuff like this. I know that. That's why that's why you're here with us.
I'm going to do some other stuff, but right now, so I ordered another printer from the States. So I need Joey to spring it out of hot because, of course, Customs is squatting on it like a giant dinosaur egg. So, like they usually do, So I'm gonna, as soon as I get that, I'll be able to do more because I can't do logos or anything right now. I can't print color, So I can't do logos because Sean Clancy has a couple of recreations for me to do. I will bring one. Okay, Jason, there'll be one at OAX. Okay, I can promise you that. But I'm going to do a series like this of various characters that'll be available at the show. along with some blank covers. Joey just got me 10 blank Iron Man covers that I'm going to do some color Iron Man pieces on. And like I said, we're going to do a couple other surprises. And I think we're still talking about doing some kind of print, right?
I'm pretty sure that's what I've heard from Kazra. He keeps things close to the breast. He doesn't tell me everything, but I do believe I did hear that.
He's a man of mystery.
He is, in fact, a man of mystery. So, so you are taking a pre-con list as well. That kind of rolls right into there.
Kaz has all the information. I gave it to him yesterday, okay, along with samples and stuff like that. So, yeah, you can order stuff from me now, and I'll just schlep it with me over there.
Right. Well, I've got the form all set up for everybody, actually. Why don't we show them just so they know what the pricing is on these? And I assume that these are like the standard things you would do at a show anyway, too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the pricing and the stuff. Okay. So I know we had 3 different size options. You had the 9x12 single character.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I couldn't find a headshot because nobody wants headshots, Yeah. I mean, I had to go back, 2019 to find the last headshot I did for anyone.
Well, then, here you have it. We do have this as an option. I think what you also had, these are all on 9x12. You had a single character bust or done on a blank cover, no color. It's $300, and then you had it with color as $400. Yep. And let's see here then. And then you did have another 9x12 option that was $400 for black and white for a full figure, or also on blank cover as well as the 9x12. And then you had the color option, which I think we just saw with the Iron Man, right? That's technically the same level. 9x12 full figure, all color is $500 when you add the color to it. And I can let everybody know that if you go to the OA Expo website, that's oa-expo.com. Right up at the top, it says just announced Bob Layton commissions. If you click on fill out a form, and it'll email Bob and I. And I'm
not going to do any cover recreations for OAX because, again, I don't have a printer. So in order recreating the logos, I have to print them out and do them mechanically, on the boards, generally speaking, or I can print them in full color if it's a full color thing. The trouble is, like I said, I don't have a viable printer yet.
Right.
I found cartridges in Germany on Amazon, German's Amazon site, but they're $85 a pop plus shipping. I said,
that's way too much.
By the time I bought all the cartridges, I might as well just buy a decent printer new.
Yeah, so, I mean, it might get there faster if you just order a new printer and not the ink.
So I'm not doing cover recreations, for that or whatever. But we'll have some specialty stuff. I'm going to bring some stuff from the shop with me too. So we'll have some of those Iron Man specialty covers that I did for Joey available.
There you go. Rom, remember Rom wanted a Rom. So Rom is saying he's submitting for the greatest.
He just found. Okay, Rom.
I had 3 Rom.
Okay, I know that's really probably not your name, but Rom, he just found 3 blank covers for a Rom for me. That's actually pretty good drawing paper, so I can do a blank, full color blank Rom, like I did a few weeks ago that we had on the show. It's sold to a Korean here. It's like
I was surprised because Rom. I don't think Rom was ever a thing here.
No, but he loved it. It's really shiny. Where in the world is Bob Layton's printer? That's a good question. Only Joey Kroner can answer. Customs warehouse in fucking Seoul, man. Yeah.
Only the Bluetooth had some range. Yeah, you could just print it from here.
There you go. I'm gonna do a few ROM covers. Full color because I love doing ROM. As you know, I was cover artist on the book for a while. I did like 7-8 covers on ROM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Plus, I did when IDW took it over. I did covers for them as well.
His real name's Danny, by the way. He's admitting
Danny.
Right
okay. There. Well, my real name is Tom.
Oh, this. I thought you meant the ROM in the comics. I'm like,
yeah. Danny. Oh, he wants a picture of himself on a blank cover. Is that what it was?
Well, Jason wants to know any options for 11x17. I mean, maybe when you're at the show or
no, not at the show, but I'll do them here. all these full figures are 11 by 17. It's the
Oh,
first
they
time
are.
I've
I think when it was
it's
sent to me, it said 9 by 12. But
no, the one I showed you, we started with the Iron Man with the space station.
So it's 11 by 17.
That's 11 by 17. It says so on my CAF gallery.
Well, I'm pretty sure
all
either
of
I got a typo or at the end of the day, so everybody knows it's not 9 by 12 full figure, it's 11 by 17 full figure. So there you have it.
Well, yeah, I can do those here. That's not a problem. So I'm just going to show you. Okay, it's like since we're here, real quick. Let me
But
show
I
you.
just want to make sure. Just so
Raise
we're
them.
because I'm looking at the email I got. It says 9 by 12 on the full figure one, so it was 11 by 17 on the full figures. That's,
you can order those. I'm not going to do those at the show.
But they're are they like the pre-con ones, correct?
Pre-orders, yeah. I will.
Yes.
I'll take
All right. Well, I just want everybody to know that it's a typo on the slide I showed too, because remember I showed the slide. It said 9 by 12. It's 11 by 17.
There you go. Okay, there's Spider-Man that I did. You saw Captain America there. There's Doctor Doom.
There we go. Look at that. Somebody's going to claim that in the chat.
All right, and then well, that's fine. They're all available on CAF. Already got them up. There's the Spider-Man again for you to see it larger. You know, but I'm having a blast just because I haven't been able to work at this size for so long. You know.
Yeah. Well, I'll get the form updated for everybody.
Yeah, you know. So if you want to pre-order 11 by 17, just go to my website or to the CAF, my CFF site. You can order there, and I can do them before the show. I'll have time to do that. But like I said, we're going to do some exclusives as well, all that sort of thing. And I'm going to be bringing some Joey stuff,
bring some comics.
Yeah. We'll be fine. I'm just waiting for, like I said, them to finalize my signing with CGC, so I can book the flights because I need to know when I absolutely have to be there. I know the dates for you guys, and so I can only leave for about 3 weeks. So it's like I want to make sure it's in that window. So no problem. There you go.
All right. Well, I'm getting. Kez was texting with me. I should make him come on camera with us.
Come on camera. I haven't seen you in a while. Come on, Kaz.
He should be.
Get on with the. He's probably texting get on with the friggin' show, right?
He's telling me that the pre-con ones, the ones I just showed, are only 9 by 12. Yeah, that's what he's telling me. Right. But I was asking you, are they 9 by 12? And you were saying they were 11 by 17, which is why I was getting confused. So the pre-con,
obviously 11 by 17.
All right, but I just flipped it. I don't want to keep. It's
not in the offering that he's putting out there because, like I said, but I will do them pre-show. I won't do them at the show. It's just too time consuming.
All right, but the ones that I was given by Kaz are all 9 by 12.
Yes.
Then I got it right on the form. Okay. Yeah. So there you have it, everybody.
Nobody's wrong here. We're changing the rules of the game. That's all.
Exactly. So no, Jason, if you order it through the form, it's not 11 by 17. It's
just they can contact me directly if they want to.
You got to contact Bob directly through
BobLayton.com.
BobLayton.com website, or you can contact him through his CAF, Jason. No more question marks.
Or his CAF. Spencer too,
That is true. All right. Well, I think we've got it figured out now. All right. Figured out. All right. So I'm good now. All right, Bob. I think
what else we have going on, Joey? We have a couple of things in the offer. You told them about Star Wars already.
Yeah. Well, I got a note from the Comics for Troops charity, and we're gonna give some free comics away to the military here.
Oh, good. So you're going back to
I'll probably go back and do some signing. You know me, I'm there when it comes to our boys overseas.
Yeah, so we'll do something. I don't know if anyone's watching that's stationed in Korea that wants to stop by the shop, but on the November 10th, 11th, and 12th, I'll have some free comic packs to give out. And Bob will be hanging around too. I think I've still got some of the USO prints. If anyone missed that signing,
We're going to open it up to anybody in the Korean military as well. But as Joey says, they're more prisoners than they are soldiers.
If anyone happens to be, it's lightened up a lot, but they can't just go wherever they want.
If those people who don't know about Korean culture, military service is mandatory here. All right, so when you reach a certain age, you're in, right? So that's why I said it's more of a prison than it is, an army.
I get it. You don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. No, they can get a medical deferment's the only way out.
Or win an Olympic medal.
Yeah. Again, they're starstruck.
If you win a medal in international competition, if you win gold, then you're exempt.
So we're both over the draft age, so we're safe.
You got nothing to worry about.
Yes.
And as much as I try to hide it, not Korean. So
I know
that helps.
People can tell that we're not Korean. We're just like we're sitting out on the street. It's like so strange.
And you're sober too. No one's drunk. It's always good.
Yep. Both of us, yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Listen, we got a busy show here. I got Jonathan in the green room ready to bust.
It was nice to meet you, Jonathan. It was great meeting you, man.
Jonathan's getting ready for his 15 minutes of fame. But we've got everything squared away with all your pre-con stuff. So anybody, you'll be getting an email on those, Bob, too, just so you know.
I wrote 2 just already showed up.
But we the one from Danny, he wanted it at 11 by 17. So, we got all confused there when you were showing the 11 by 17 full figure versus the 9 by 12. So.
Right. But
it's okay.
With Castro, okay?
Yeah. And
no, I just didn't want to, I can't do cover recreation, so it's very limited in what I can do right now. Exactly. So as long as they're willing to accept, like wonderful drawing like this or whatever, then that's fine. That's why I'm doing
we're gonna have Kazra step in and square everything up for us.
Yeah, figure says. Well, I was on the run yesterday because it was drink and draw day, and I was prepping for that and all that kind of stuff. So I also had some Hollywood legal stuff I had to deal with. While Castro was asking me to send all this crap, so I kind of I did what I could. No
problem.
But I'll iron it out with him over the weekend. Okay, no problem.
Sounds good, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Have fun. Eat something weird and take a video.
Okay, Joey's back now, so we'll definitely go find something weird to put on camera next week. Okay.
All right. Sounds good, guys.
All right, brother. Take care.
You too. See ya. All right. See, we got it. We got it all figured out. Kazra to the rescue. He's gonna save the day. But like I mentioned, I've got Jonathan in the green room now. So let me switch a couple things around here and bring Jonathan in. And hey. I don't want to be giant size here. Let's around like that. That's better.
There we go.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, now it's finally dark. I guess it's late wherever you're at.
It is. It definitely is. It's what time is it? It's 9:35 here on the East Coast. So I'm in Orlando. That's why OAX is here in Orlando, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, I'm in California. So I'm looking forward to going to Florida. I haven't been there since I was like a little kid, so I'm curious what it's going to be like.
Well, I'm just hoping we have good weather. Our reception is planned to be outside on Friday night. So, if it's as long as it's not raining, we're in good shape. So usually the thing down here, it rains every afternoon around that time of year. So usually by 4 o'clock, it's all cleared out. It starts around 1, ends at 4, and you can pretty much expect a fine evening. So fingers crossed.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So welcome. I mean, we met just before the show got started here. So you've been on CAF for a while. I think when I sent out the mailing earlier today, I might have linked to your CAF gallery. I don't recall, but you've been on the site for a while. Has it? Do you get a lot of people contacting you through the website at all, or I know you get a fair number of views on things, and like you mentioned before, we featured some of your artwork on the CAF update. So that's got to help a little bit every once in a while.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely get like a different set of eyes from CAF. You know what I mean? So since I've kind of been more active in the past 6 months to a year, I've been getting like a good amount of messages and stuff like that. So it's been nice. I've been enjoying it quite a bit.
I bet Eric has sent you an email or two through CAF. He just popped in to say hi. Nice to have you, Eric, in the chat.
Eric. Yeah, Eric has quite a few pieces.
I heard he's a fan, that he's picked up a few
Oh
over
yeah,
time.
he's a good guy.
So you have a very I don't know, a very interesting style, very indie kind of approach to your art. I've always enjoyed it, and I've always appreciated the fact that you've shared your artwork on CAF for so long. I mean, when people approach you about your work, I mean, do they, if they want to commission or get something from you, what kind of requests do you typically get? I mean, do you get like average, Marvel DC characters, or do you sometimes get something off the wall just because of the style that you have?
I sometimes get some stuff off the wall, but actually, believe it or not, it's a lot of like mainstream characters. A lot of times, the requests.
Hmm.
I have a few people like Eric's one where they'll really enjoy my kind of weirder stuff. You know what I mean? So um, I try to encourage that. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
a lot of superhero stuff and a lot of like stuff that I think doesn't match. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but it's always interesting. Like right now, I'm doing a Bleach commission for someone, and I'm actually a big manga fan, but I don't know the character at all. So that's always harder when you don't know the character. You know what I mean? They're easier to draw when you have some kind of association with them. You know?
Right, right, right. So, I mean, what do you end up doing? You just have to go out and look at the imagery, or do you? I mean, you don't have
Yeah,
much choice, right?
yeah, and try and twist it into like something that works. Like, this is a 9 by 12. I've been working on it, and I think it's kind of I think it's kind of interesting. It's getting somewhere. So I'll try and wrap that up.
That's pretty cool. So, I saw the Mondo piece that got released. Well, it was right before Halloween. They put it out there. I mean, that looked pretty cool. How do you get a job with Mondo for something like that?
That's just like the creative director is a guy who is, I guess, originally a fan of mine from like 20 years ago.
Oh,
And
wow.
now he works at Mondo and he remembers me. Like I see him at shows here and there, and then
Hmm.
he just does amazing artwork himself too. You know what I mean? So it's been awesome. A lot of stuff's been like kind of circling back lately. You know what I mean? Some people I've met a long time ago, they kind of come back for work. It's been interesting recently, actually. You know what I mean? So I've been pretty busy with a lot of stuff. So trying to work through my commission list as well.
Hmm. Who are some of your outside of Mondo? What other clients do you work for?
Oh, so I did a few Coheed and Cambria posters recently so I
Hmm.
do rock posters and stuff like that. A few years ago, I did Metallica posters. These are all like silkscreen limited editions. I've actually been working a lot in comics. So I have Florence and Normandy coming out soon, which is written by Rodney Barnes and Exhibit.
Hmm.
So that's Zombie Love Studios. Rodney writes Philadelphia. If you guys are familiar with
Yeah.
that,
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
yeah. So that's done. That's like a full like 120 something pages. So that will hopefully be out soon. And then also I'm working on a comic cul-de-sac with Bad Idea, and that's written by Mike Carey. So that's currently what I'm working on. So I spend a lot of time on comics actually, and comics eats up so much of your time. It's kind of ridiculous, like drawing sequential art. You know what I mean? So it's hard to kind of like do projects on the side, but I'm managing my time better these days.
That's cool. You don't have a lot of art on the walls, I mean, I was expecting some, to see some imagery, but you got windows, which is a good thing. For them
Yeah, I
to.
don't have the collection you guys have, and I do not have. I can't stand my own artwork. And here's my cat Luna. Kazra knows Luna. Luna, look. Okay,
Luna the cat. Yeah, I'm a cat person as well.
nice.
Uh,
But yeah, I can't stand my own artwork. So it all like faces the wall. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it. It's kind of a thing. I thought I'd be over it by now, but I'm just not. So
is that you just so you don't like your own art? You just don't like looking at it. After you're done with it, it's just you got to move on to the next piece.
um, yeah, I guess
Really?
that's what you can say. I think it's just I guess I don't know if perfectionist is the right word, but I get obsessed with work, so I just spend an enormous amount of time on things, and then if things aren't working out, I'll go back and fix it, and I'll go back and fix it.
Hmm.
There's a piece I'm actually trying to finish that's almost done for the show that I want to use as a backdrop,
Oh,
and
cool.
it's so close to being done, but it's like one of those things I was looking at today, and I was just like, oh man, there's this I got to do, this I got to do, but it's actually almost done. I mean, it's a big piece. I don't know. I'm gonna try and show it to you.
Holy smokes, that's huge.
Yeah, so it's like a Batman Rogues Gallery kind of piece. So it's been in the works for a while, but I'm trying to
What is that, like 2 by 3 foot?
30 by 40. Yeah, it's huge,
Man,
so it's so close to being done, but there's just like a bunch of things I want to fix on that. But I actually want to use that as my backdrop. So I'm hoping to bring it to the show. This is the Beetlejuice piece that
right?
just came out from Mondo. The print was like 24 by 36. It's a shame it's like webcam. You can't really show anything.
Right. Now, did you scan that yourself or do you take it someplace?
No, I scan them. I do all my own production on all these things.
Okay.
Yeah, it eats up a lot more time than you think. You probably know.
What? Yeah. Oh, I do. I do. But I mean, a piece like that, like the Beetlejuice piece. I mean, what's the time you put into something like that?
Beetlejuice I drew in a week, or I inked it in a week.
Okay.
I think. I'm like the sloppiest pencil in the world, so like pencils are like breakdowns and then they're pretty quickly done. So most of the time's inking. Like my breakdowns are probably not even as complete as like John Buscema's ones. Like, and it's actually something I'm working on. I'm trying to make them tighter because it makes my life easier if they're tighter, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're all very familiar with John Buscema's, first pass. His pencils are usually pretty loose.
Yeah.
In some, well, in a lot of cases.
But that's
So
because he could draw so well. You know what I mean?
that is very, very true. I mean, in any inker that worked with him a lot, they were just, they didn't need anything more than that. They pretty much knew what they needed to do if they were inking him.
Yeah. I mean, the structure's all there. Him and like Gil Kane, like they just had structure nailed, so they didn't have to put that much down on the paper for it to be right.
Right. Yeah. Tariq, he's TMD wants us claim the Batman Rogues Gallery. Tariq, you're not. Well, I think. Well, at any rate, yeah, you can't claim anything tonight. But it's not that kind of a show, Tariq. But so you are taking a pre-con list, Jonathan. I got a list from Kazra this morning, and so I kind of pulled the slides together, and I even linked it up on the website. Everybody, it is a limited number for each of the sizes and things. So that was one thing that on Bob's, I wouldn't say it's unlimited, but he didn't send a list with a limited number. Bob's pretty quick when he's got his mojo working. But let's see. I'm going to go ahead and show the commission sizes and options here for you, Jonathan, so everybody has a good idea. So we got your 9x12 single character portrait, fully inked in black and white, and this is on, like I said, it's on 9x12. You're only taking 5 of these. Price on these is $400. And again, this looks it's done on a sketch cover. You got the rhino there, and I think I've got another example for the single character here. So this as well, kind of the fully inked portrait, black and white, hyper detail. I mean, these are awesome. The Cthulhu is amazing.
Thanks.
I've got I have a Cthulhu drawing on the wall myself. So yeah, I love that when I saw that one. So you're only taking 5 of these on the 9x12s, and then we have a couple other options as well. So we have a 11x17, and I remember when Kazra sent the email to me with the list, he was kind of curious, on the one on the, like, the Beta Ray Bill has a couple extra characters in it. How are you going to handle these 11x17 pieces? You're only taking 3, and they cost $1,000. But if somebody comes in and wants a Beta Ray Bill, should they expect that they're going to get a Howard the Duck, or is it just going to be a Beta Ray Bill, more like the Alien piece?
It'll be something I'll discuss with them. It's if they have a concept and a character they want to do, like that's not a problem. It doesn't. Okay. If it's like a couple extra characters, I don't mind so much, as long as it's not like the whole Avengers team. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah. So it's you just discuss with me and we'll figure something out. It's not that big of a deal, really.
Okay. All right. So that's so this was the second option, and it's 11x17. Priced at $1,000, taking 3 only, and I think I actually have one here, and this is the large one. You're only doing 1 of these on 16x20, fully inked. So these are pretty large, not as large as the pieces that John showed us earlier, but this is one example, and I think I had this other one here. This and just another imagery piece. That's very interesting. I like this one a lot. So, I was kind of curious. I'm looking at your art, and I don't think about this too often. But did you go to college for art? I'm just kind of curious what your art background is before as you're developing your style.
Yeah, I went to university. I actually went to school originally to be a 3D animator, and I wanted to work on Saturday morning cartoons as well, like character designing and stuff like that. So, but I always loved like pen and ink drawing, so I kind of fell into it more or less. I started getting asked to do gallery shows in San Francisco, like small time gallery stuff, because I never knew it existed, and that's kind of how I transitioned into this
Hmm.
illustration thing, you know. And so I was doing gallery independent stuff, self publishing for a while, and I kind of dabbled in mainstream comics for a little while, went back out, but now I'm kind of back into it. So yeah,
Well, very,
but
very, very nice.
but yeah, if I mean if someone orders a commission for me though, like I go all out on these things. You know what I mean? I really work into them and really kind of cover the page within reason. You know what I mean? So I try to make sure everybody's happy. You know what I mean?
Hmm. No, I mean, well, if you put this much effort into the commissions, I think anybody who's going to be picking one up is going to be pretty happy. Uh, yeah, no, these are really nice. And
Thanks.
again, you have you've got a gallery up on CAF too, so
Hmm.
you've got a lot of representative pieces up there as well. So, if we're looking at this on a TV screen, so if people want to get a better idea of your technique and aesthetic, they should definitely head over to CAF and take a look at your gallery over there, because there's much better scans over there and higher quality than the ones that we're showing here on your TV screen or your computer monitor.
Yeah, and please go to my calf. I'm gonna have originals, comic pages, and I hope to have some paintings as well from some projects that I'm not sure if they've been announced yet or not, but I'm hoping by then they are.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to bring quite a bit of original artwork to the show. So it'll be interesting.
So how often do you get out to the shows?
I'm trying to do more. Usually it's San Diego, New York, and
Okay.
sometimes Seattle at
Hmm.
WonderCon. But I'm trying to do Seattle, New York, Seattle, possibly is it Heroes Con in North Carolina or something like that? Or
Yeah, that's the one that a lot of collectors go to. That's one of our go-to shows every year here.
yeah. So that's another one I want to try and hit up. I've been toying with Japan, and but I don't know how feasible that is. I was looking into Seoul, but Seoul definitely wasn't going to happen. So
Well, it's wait, you were just talking. You're half Korean, so you've been wanting to get over there,
yeah, I want an excuse to go to Seoul. So that's why I was looking at that show. You know what I mean?
right? Right. Well, but now at least you know somebody over there, so maybe they can for you at some point.
Yeah, it
Uh,
sounds like Bob knows all the places.
yes, exactly. But yeah, and he knows where all the drunks hang out, at least anyway. So everybody, just so you know, I've got a link over at the OAX website. I got the URL right there on the screen, so it's right at the top. It's got Bob's link to his commission request page, and Jonathan's link is up there as well. Those will stay up there. I'll send out an email tomorrow as well to everybody, just to kind of recap what the commission opportunities are, and just to remind everybody what we've got available for you and for Bob, and I've got Dan coming up next. So. And you know what? Honestly, Jonathan, we got to get you back on here. This is the first time we're meeting, and I've never had you on for an interview before. If you have an hour to spare sometime, I'd love to do a creator interview with you. It'd be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, anytime. I'm always looking for an excuse to talk comics because I have no one to talk comics about. So, um, I'm known for like knowing a lot of like what the pens the artists use and stuff like that, just dumb stuff. So every
Mm.
once in a while, I like to whip it out, you know. But so
Kezra wants.
anytime.
Kezra's curious if you'll take tacos for art at OAX. Must be
Oh,
an inside
always.
joke. Oh, yeah. Oh, always. There
No,
you go.
it's not even because like I used to like make posts. I'm like, if you bring me donuts, I'll give you a drawing, and I would do that. People bring. So yeah, don't. I don't know. Can you bring alcohol in there? I mean, yeah, bring me
Well,
some
the Hilton
donuts.
might
Bring me
not
some
be happy.
tacos. Yeah, I'll throw that out right now. You come to OA, you say hi, you bring me donuts, you bring me tacos. I'll do like a quick little sketch for you. And it's always on the table.
There you go. I
There
don't
you
know. It sounds good to me.
go. Cool. And
Uh,
Jordan, I would love to go to Hawaii Con. I just don't know anything about it, so I should probably look into that.
Well, I know Jordan's a fan of your work, so and he's in Hawaii, so he could definitely
Really?
get the information over to you. Yeah, I plan
Okay.
on visiting Jordan next August in Hawaii. My kids play Pokemon, and they're actually having the World Championships there in August next year. So I'm going. I am taking
wow.
10 days off, maybe 2 weeks off, and I'm going.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man. I need to another place I need to make my way out to as well.
Sweet. Well, Jonathan, it was a pleasure meeting you. I appreciate you coming out to OAX. It's going to be a lot of fun getting to hang out in person. And now I know that if I want to get a free sketch, I need to bring you a box of tacos, which I'll try to find some good tacos in Orlando. I've only been down here a year, but I haven't eaten out too often. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, I like Taco Bell too.
Hey, I do too. I wasn't going to admit that, but now that you have, I confess up to it as well. Taco Bell's.
There you go.
So,
Cool.
so I'll be in touch. I'm sure Kaz will be chatting with you soon too as well. But again, thanks, and we will get you booked for a show on here where we can, talk to you at length about your career.
Great.
All right,
Sounds
man.
good. All right. Thanks for having me. All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Yeah. Cool meeting, Jonathan. We have that's OAX is going to be so much fun. I mean, there's so many creators that I've had either on the show and have never gotten to meet in person, or like Jonathan, who I just got to meet for the first time. So yeah, this is great. Well, so now I've got one more artist to talk to, and I can see that they are in the green room now as well. Mr. Dan Brereton is here. So let me bring Dan in. And Dan, you get to be in the position of authority right there, the big screen. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I couldn't be better, to be honest. I'm in a pretty good mood tonight.
Awesome.
And man, I every time I see your studio, I'm always in amazement. Does it change your back wall? I mean, do you kind of like pin different things up there for week to week?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
But it mostly it sort of overlaps. Like this is just one piece of wall here that's got. Let me move my hand so you can see better. There's Mindy Lee drawing. My wife. That's my wife, and then that's a drawing of Halloween Girl. She did kind of a Mary Blair style.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much in the way. Let me look over here and see what's on here that's original. I've got some original stuff here. I got Ruben Martinez, Craig Rousseau, Jordi Bernay, torpedo gunning down Batman piece that I actually used. Can you see it?
I can, yeah.
I used to own the original, and like an idiot, I sold it. And but I scanned it. So a few years later, Burnett was at a show in Oakland, and Steve Morgan brought him out.
Mm-hmm.
Got to meet him, and he signed my print for me. And he was pretty surprised that I even had that because it's never been published over here, obviously.
Right.
Trying to think if there's anything new. Oh, there's something I got recently that I really quite like a lot, which is just a Mike Hoffman sketch with some watercolor on it,
mm-hmm.
with some other figures. And
I remember you telling me you picked up one of those sketchbooks he's had on eBay, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't know if you guys know this, but Mike's pretty prolific prolific artist, but he sketches like a maniac. And so he's been selling these collected, he'll take 100 drawings on 8.5 by 11, and he'll bind them. And they're not photocopies, they're actual drawings.
Mm-hmm.
And then sells them on eBay. And I started to see these after he'd probably sold about 14 or 15 of them. And so I have a few. And the thing that just strikes me is how kind of little they go for, considering you're getting 100 drawings, And Mike told me that what had happened was originally he got this idea to take the drawings and bind them up, thinking that dealers would buy them and then just take them out and sell them one at a time. And
that's happened a lot.
I don't know. For some reason, I love looking at those drawings, and he gets this kind of rap as being a sort of a Frazetta clone. And I after seeing all the drawings, what I see is a person who's very influenced by Frank Frazetta, but is definitely not someone who is without talent. He's got quite a bit of talent. His command of the figure is amazing. His designs, his poses, there's so many throwaway poses that are in these sketchbooks that are amazing. I mean, anyone could take a little thumbnail and turn it into something pretty cool. So I think his stuff is just constantly churning out. And it's been kind of inspiring, and that's kind of how it is. I go through these periods where I get really inspired by a certain artist, and I kind of take a deep dive, and then move on to someone else, or it just becomes part of the group of things I like. If you go on my Facebook page, I have a lot of albums of artists that I admire, where I collect things and put them up. So, and I do it on my Dropbox too, just for myself. I have these lists of all these different artists and things like that. So, anyway,
I have been
that's
to your
not what we're here to
Facebook
talk
page and
about.
no, but no, it's well. Listen, it's always good to get to chat with you, man. We've done a couple sales shows where we've gotten to talk at length, but no, it's it's good to catch up. Everybody was admiring your shirt. They're pretty impressed by the Swamp Thing there.
It's a bootleg.
The colors on that thing are pretty amazing. However it was printed, that's you don't usually get to see the colors that vibrant.
It's from T Public. It's from one of those designers that's just wholesale off the man or the establishment. And I just I can't get enough of Bernie Wrightson. And the thing is I didn't have like shirts like this when I was a kid growing up, and I didn't have them much as an adult either. And then I started seeing them at shows and here and there, and I don't know, I don't mind wearing comic book art on my chest, I guess. It makes me happy. So
sure. No, I T Public's my friend. I buy a lot of shirts from over there.
Yeah, I wish I could get in touch with some of the designers, just kind of give them some requests of things I'd like to wear, but it's getting to the point now where I have many more shirts than there are days in a month. So I should probably
yeah, we do a t-shirt purge here about once a year.
A t-shirt what? Purge?
A purge, yes, a purge. Because I tend to buy more than I need, and unless it becomes a work shirt, I end up just tossing them or something. Yeah. But nothing wrong with that.
Some of my shirts, if I'm not careful, I try not to wear a shirt I like when I'm working, because I'll get paint. I tend to clean my brush off, or it's not so much cleaning my brush off, it's getting the excess water off my brush. So when I'm working, by the way, guys, when I'm working, I'll dip it into the water, and then I'll go like this, but it's not always clean. So after a while, the shirt gets this big ugly blotch on it, and then it's just a work shirt after that. So it's not as romantic as like paint splotches all over. When I was in art school, I had when I lived in the dorms one year at California College of Arts and Crafts, and it was 85 or something like that. I think it was the first year I was there, and one of my roommates, he had like a paint splattered set of jeans, and I said, "Wow, you must paint a lot." He goes, "Oh no, I did that myself."
It sounds like an art school student. Exactly.
So I'm excited for OAX, and
we're excited to have you.
What I just recently put up a couple of pieces on my Comic Art Fans available art page too.
Sweet. Yeah, that's the cool thing. Both. I had Bob Layton on first, Jonathan Wayshak on second, and now you, and all three of you are regular CAF users. You've been all three of you've used the site for a long time. You used to market your art sales and get your name out there, and I appreciate that, because I've always felt like the one segment of our hobby that doesn't utilize CAF enough are the artists. It's I don't know why. I mean, hey, it's probably because you're making art and you don't have time to share it, and that's okay. But it's something that Kazra and I hope to change. We'd like to think more artists can view CAF as a resource to kind of either drive a few leads here or there, or why not, right? Especially if you're either looking for commissions or you got some originals to sell. I've just never quite I know why it doesn't happen, because I never went out there and tried to rope people in and tell them to use it. But I appreciate the fact that for a while.
I think it was Kelvin Mao.
Yeah,
told me about Comic Art Fans and what was going on there, and then mentioned that you can also put your art up there if it's available. And when I started to do that, there was a certain point where I guess when I put something up that was popular, I would get pinged really fast. And then I found out that it's because you can put in to get notified when something new goes up from a certain artist. And I thought that was pretty cool. I don't get a lot of pings lately because I don't put up, there's not a lot of stuff on there right now that's like really mainstream, super mainstream characters. Also, a lot of the mainstream stuff that I did as far as pages and things like that have either sold, or I've been kind of holding back on some of that stuff and not just letting it all go. I'd like my kids to be able to have something at some point that, instead of just a stack of pencil prelims, because that's all, So we'll see. But I can show you some stuff I'm working on right now. Some of it's there's two pieces that are Patreon people who talked me into letting them pay me more money to do things that I would have not normally done on Patreon, which were more work. So this one is a Thor with the goats, and I'm going to paint.
Oh, sweet.
So this is kind of what it looks like when I get the drawing done. I tape it down to a piece of hardboard, and then I put like a wash over where I want my decide what am I going to have warm figures, cool figures, where the warms are and the cools are to help me kind of figure out the light, cover up all the whites, and then I let it dry. And this is actually done on the good Strathmore that's vintage that Brian Wagner found for me. And it's 14 by 17 500 series Bristol from probably 89 or 90, something like that. But it has the original gel sizing treatment that Strathmore 500 series Bristol board used to have 20 years ago before the brand changed hands, and now it's crap paper. So every once in a while I pull that out. I've only got about 40 sheets, I think, left.
You got to treat that like gold then.
Yeah, I do it for special things.
Yeah.
Also, even though it's a great paper, it's not, you have to be careful using too much water on it, because I did a painting recently where I just did this huge wet wash and then it kind of buckled and I had to wrestle with it, but it was okay in the end. Now this one is a Nova, Galactus creating Nova with a Silver Surfer in the background. This is another one of those things I would normally not want to do because it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's down the machinery of commissions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I got talked into it. And actually, originally it was just these two, and then I was talked into doing the Surfer. So that's the one I'll be doing after that at some point.
That's another Patreon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, these are for the top level tier folks that are paying more per month, and because you can start at $5 and go all the way up to 150 or something a month. And depending on what tier you're in, you can get a piece of art after.
And you do regular hangouts with your Patreon. I know that.
I try and do that. Yeah. You were on for the last one.
I was.
And that was fun. It's usually on a Saturday, and not everyone can make it on a Saturday, but we get a pretty decent amount of people. It's really nice to connect with folks, and hopefully people have a lot of questions for me. Here's another piece that this one's available. It's a variant cover for Cullen Bunn and Brian Hurt's Midnight Show comic from Dark Horse. This is the first issue variant, and it's based on. So in the first issue, there's a panel that shows a magazine cover for a magazine called Creature Features, and it's a story on this guy and all these characters that he's played over the years in monster films, and he's kind of a Bela Lugosi type. And when I saw that, I said, "Can I do that as a cover?" And they said yes. So it's a little bit of me and it's a little bit of Brian, his character, mostly his character designs, which are really fun. And this one's on Arch's sort of a watercolor board. It's got a little bit of a pebbled surface, but mostly this is watercolor and gouache. I don't know, what is this, 15 by 20 or something like that. Yeah, so this is pretty decent stuff to work on. Another one that's a little bit bigger, and it's on Arches.
Jason had a question for you on that. Was that in your calf?
I just put this one up. This one just up on my calf. Yeah.
Did it have a price on it?
I don't know. Sometimes there's a price. Sometimes you have to ask.
Well, there you go. Jason's asking, but he could shoot you an email and ask too.
Yes, you can definitely shoot me an email. Nothing's easier than that. So, and this one is already spoken for. This was done for Gordon Murphy's Zorro Dead comic series that it's about to conclude on Kickstarter. It's a monster campaign. It looks amazing. And I've never met Sean in person. I mean, we just started corresponding a little bit when I started working on this, but I was asked by the publisher at Massive if I'd be interested in doing a cover, because Sean asked for me, and I said, hell yeah, that's awesome. So I wanted to do kind of a headless horseman Halloween kind of thing. So this is what, hold on, wrong direction. So this is my variant cover. There's a lot of people doing variant covers. Joe Quesada, Walt Simonson, Dan Panosian, there's Humberto Ramos. I mean, there's a huge list. And mine came on late as a kind of Halloween tier. So you get a Halloween cover to the first issue by Sean, or maybe it's the trade. And then you get, I guess, number 1 with this cover. And then you get 2 11x17 prints, one of his art and this piece. And so it's pretty cool. And Sean likes it enough that I think he may end up buying it. So pretty cool.
Well, you're going to get to meet Sean. Sean's going to be at OA Expo too, so you'll meet him.
Yeah, that'd be exciting. Yeah, maybe we'll get to hoist a beer or something. But this one with all the pumpkins and everything was my introduction to the month of October. I worked on that in the first 3 days of October, first 3 or 4 days of October, and then after that, I spent the rest of the month pretty much just working on Nocturnals pages for my next Nocturnals graphic novel. I told myself I was going to take a month and work on those pages, which I did. And I did a couple of little pieces in between just for my patrons, just so I could have some Halloween stuff to show them. But yeah, that was really refreshing. But now I have to get back to some other stuff. So I'm doing a cover for Brian Bendis's second volume of The Joy Operations, I think is the name of the book. Bendis, and I can't remember the name of the artist, but I'm doing a variant cover for that. And a bunch of Patreon stuff and some other things. I've got 2 shows this month. I got Dallas Con, and then at the end of the month, I've got San Francisco Art Expo. So yeah, it's gonna be busy month.
You are busy. I thought you might coast into the holidays, but you're not. You got a busy schedule leading up to that.
And the day before Thanksgiving is my 58th birthday, so I have to at least try and act like I'm not 58 by just working really hard, right, like a young man. But it's, to be honest, when I was doing Nocturnals in the 90s and early 2000s, my page quota was 12 painted pages a month, and I did not get 12 painted pages done this month. I worked hard, but I did not get 12 pages. That's not really that bad of a deal, because that means I get to spend more time hopefully working on them and less time feeling rushed and hurried because I have time. But that book is actually, it's 96 pages so far. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to stay 96 pages, but I might add a page or two just to make sure the story flows and everything. But this book here is full of all the penciled pages. These are all the penciled pages for the Nocturnals graphic. Actually, this is upside down. And then the finished ones, wait a second, that's the wrong one. Well, the finished ones are in another book, but actually I have 2 books full of these that make up the 96 pages, not just one. And they've been penciled for a couple of years now, and I've just been really trying hard to kind of find blocks of time to work on them. It's difficult, my Patreon has grown a lot in the last couple of years. I think I have 120 somewhere in there patrons, and not everybody gets a piece of art, but still it's a lot, and it's fun,
like I said, I had a good time when I hung out with them. Well, I know a lot of the people obviously in the that are Patreons of yours.
In fact, people who are listening right now may be part of that Patreon group, or know a lot of those people. And I know a lot of the people who are patrons have they're patrons of other artists as well, and it's a great thing. It's it really is amazing how we can now connect directly with an audience that used to be buffered by a publisher.
Right.
Didn't really connect with unless you went to comic shows, which that's the thing I think I like most about comic conventions is convening, is talking with other people about the stuff that we love, that the people that we live with are pretty much sick of hearing about. So.
Well, I'll tell you, when you're in Orlando and you and Sean go to have a beer, I'll invite me along and I'll buy the first round.
Okay, you're always invited, Bill. That goes without saying.
I'm definitely going to need one. I'm sure by whatever night it is of the show, I'm going to need one to kind of end my
Just don't
night.
one too much, because I've been to a couple of shows where the kind of the MC ties one on a little too
Oh, I won't do that. Maureen,
hard.
my wife will not let me. She'll probably be keeping an eye on me. If I go over to the bar to have a beer with you, she'll make sure I stop at one.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. But I've been to a couple of shows in the past where the person who was hosting was so stressed out that they didn't stop at just a couple of
They don't
beers.
want to stop,
And
right?
well, I mean, it was a way to, I guess, you know, to dismiss.
Forget all your troubles.
Yeah, neutralize the stress, putting the event together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty stressed right now, Dan. But I think once the show starts, I'd like to think that it's just going to kind of melt away. But you never know. I have no idea what I'm going to be like under pressure once the show actually begins.
Well,
but
just
it's going to be a good time.
Give yourself a chance to enjoy the moment and to decompress when it's over, and not immediately start thinking about next year. I mean, there's going to be kind of like that thing where you convene with your people and talk about here, but try and get some rest in there. Try and get some feeling of accomplishment, because sometimes I know personally that when I was working on these projects for like DC for a lot of years, I would be finished with the last say 12 pages and just barely making my deadline, or I was a little bit late, because a lot of times when you finish the first two issues, they put the thing on the schedule, and then you had like a month to finish 48 pages or 24, whatever it was, and it was like,
sure.
Got to really hustle now, because they put the thing on the schedule a little too early, and by the time I was done, I was so burnt out I couldn't even enjoy it. And it gradually, as you get older, you learn to take time for that kind of stuff. I think it's important to be able to sit back and look at what you've accomplished. And there was about 10 years where I wasn't doing that. And I remember early on when I was working on painted, miniseries for, say, Eclipse or DC, when I first started putting these pages together, I would set them out on the floor of my apartment and just lay them out and look at what I'd done. And I had never done a body of work let's say I had 20 pages done. I had no body of work that was that large for a single project before. And then all of a sudden you've got 120 plus pages and 3 covers, and you're done. And that's a lot. And you really, I think anyone who works like that and does sequential art and interiors for books should take the time to kind of revel in the amount of work that they put out. And it's hard though, because it can be very stressful.
Right. Well, I mean, the sense of accomplishment from seeing all that stuff in front of you has to be pretty awesome, I would have to think. Where did I see this? Number one Marvel fan mentioned that just posted my Adam Warlock on CAF by Dan last week, and need to get more soon. And that's kind of a good segue. We can show off. You're taking a few pre-con things as well. And and I should highlight that Jason sent you an email for that one piece that we were showing off earlier through your CAF. So you should get something from him.
Great.
I don't think Jason's fibbing here, but yes, you're taking a pre-con list as well. Not a large one either. We've got limits on the 2 different sizes and styles. And just I picked the 11 by 14s from the last show. Like I looked at the same price, same price point. And I'm like, all right, that's got to be the right one, because I had images from the smaller one already as well. I think from the last show too. Yeah. So let's see here.
A little bit of a distinction though, because when I do the full figure, say 11 by 14 commissions, actually a lot of times I do them on the Arches cold press paper, which is my preferred paper for doing commissions and stuff, pinup style commissions. And it's 10 by 14. It's not 11 by 14. It's only an inch difference on that, in the narrowness. I
misspoke, didn't I?
But I really prefer the paper. But I just don't want anyone to go and like think they're getting 11 by 14 and then go, hey, I got shorted an inch. But it does really make a difference. It's just, if anything, 10 by 14 is more a sort of a comic book shape than
11 by 14. Sure. Well, hopefully I didn't type it wrong when I made the slide, but we'll take a look and see if I did. And if I did, we'll correct myself, because it won't be the first time I've made a mistake. So I can tell you that just like Bob and Jonathan's commission links, I put Dan's on the homepage of the OA Expo website. So you can go to oa-expo.com to see, to get the link to go over there to do that. And where was the heck I know I made us. There we go. I can highlight that, but then let's go ahead and take a look at the options here. So first option, this is on a 9x12 and single character bust. I think this is a piece that we sold on the last show. Same price.
No one asked for Angela. It's a lot of work. That's, I'm
That
not
was-
going to get that one for $450. Okay.
I know you put a lot of effort into that one.
I mean, for crying out loud.
I know. I was surprised when I saw that one.
Well, what usually happens is that they say they want a head and shoulders, a bust piece, and then I end up putting hands and arms in there and navels and lots of other things because it's easy to get carried away and you want to kind of do justice to the character. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, so this one 9x12 single character bust, you're limiting to 4, painted of course, like all the work that you do, and then I threw in another example because I think this was from the same show that was at the same price, $450, of course, 9x12. I'm only taking 4 of these. And then let's see if I got the size right on the larger one because now I'm worried. Oh, no, I did 10x14. Okay. Yeah, I said 11x14, but I actually did the right thing on 10x14. So you're taking 6 of these. Price on these are $1,000. And if you've seen either of the 2 shows that we did with Dan, I mean, Dan, you're the man with these painted pieces, and your choice of color, I mean, are always fantastic. I actually made a second one of these so that they can see, just one of your figures.
I have to point out that the Dr. Doom was not $1,000 piece, just so you know.
Was it? I picked the wrong one.
No, we just don't want to false advertise because you remember that one went up for auction. I think.
Oh, that's right. That one was an auction one. I had it in folder for $1,000.
Generally speaking, you're getting mostly pretty much a full figure.
Yeah.
Don't get upset if you don't see all the feet, but generally try and do the full figure and full color. With the line work in the watercolor and a sort of a simple background. So I mean, no one's complained so far.
No, I mean, come on. I mean, everybody loves your work. That is, especially people who collect painted work. I mean, your stuff stands out. I mean, I've always loved your color palette. I mean, there's a few people who always the color choices that they use always blow my mind. Like you, Stelfreeze. I mean, there's a few others who's just come up with the most creative use of color that of people that are out there doing this work. So this is great. And Bat Kid Voodoo says they're still cherishing the Thrill Killer Batman commission from earlier in the year.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. Always like doing those characters.
So there you go. Those are the 2 sizes. We got the 10x14 single character. We're limiting that to 6. And then also the 9x12 single character bust only. This one has more detail than Dan would want to, and it's priced at $450. And I did forget, I didn't put it on the slides when I made it, but if you come up with something a little too wild, Dan does reserve the right to say, I don't want to do that. So I don't know how often that might those instances actually happen, but they could. It doesn't
happen, usually like with my Patreon, the patrons on the Night Studio page, when it's their turn for a reward, whether it's a 9x12 ink drawing or it's a 10x14 painting or the slightly larger 12x16 painting, I tend to usually we talk about it. So they throw me some ideas, usually 2 or 3 ideas, and I pick the one that's kind of hits me the most. And sometimes people just say Halloween Girl or Gun Witch or a character I've done, like, throw back roll. And we don't have to talk about it anymore. I mean, it's pretty obvious that I'm going to want to do that. Yeah. I mean, people ask me, you get tired of doing certain characters. To be honest, I mean, I always feel like there's an opportunity when you're doing a character more than once or more than 12 times or whatever it is to kind of do something different that you did before. Maybe it's another stab at making something happen on the paper that is unique. So, I couldn't do too many Godzilla pieces. I couldn't do too many Wonder Woman pieces. There's always something that I'm going
right. You get sure. Hey, before we got to get going here, what was it? Dina wanted to know, Dan, is the hairdryer behind you used to help you dry your pieces as you work?
Yeah, it's I don't use it a ton, but if I'm working with wet meat, which I work with wet media all the time, and I want something to dry quickly, it works good. Just don't put it on high. You don't want to do that. Just you want it to be a medium temperature usually, unless you're going to hold it further back. But yeah, that's one of my tools that I occasionally use. But
And you're in a hurry.
I'll turn it around so you can see my tabletop here. So you can see my my water jar, very dirty and needs to be cleaned. There's some paints there. There's some watercolors. Watercolor is great because you just get it wet and it's ready to go again, but I usually go with the acrylic wash and the watercolor together these days. And it has to do with well, I did that. That's not like a new thing. Acrylic and watercolor. Acrylic covers areas in ways that watercolor can. If you want something more flat, if you don't like the results you got on the piece, you can work into it. Yeah, I'm gonna be really busy. That's I mean, the fact I'm offering 6 pieces for OAX is just because I know in January I'm gonna just take time to set aside time in January just to work on those and get those done. So.
Well, we appreciate it. I think because we haven't really offered commission opportunities when we had you on the show before. So this is a unique opportunity if you're going to OAX to get one. Last comment I'll throw up here was Dan Lawless. He said, Dan is the artist's artist. That is the artist that other professionals admire. So there you go.
Wow. A compliment, and I have no idea.
Dan, yeah. Mr. Brereton's blushing. Now we've seen it. But hey, Dan, I'm looking forward to OAX, man. And I do. We definitely should have a beer together, one way or another, whether before the show, during the show, or after the show. We'll definitely, because you've been a good friend of the site for a long time, and I appreciate all the time you spent on the channel with me. And I look forward to getting to hang out. I think I haven't seen you. Feels like probably since Big Wow, so it's been a long time.
Yeah, and that was 2016, 2017, something like that.
Like 16. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I missed that show.
Me too.
Well, thanks for having me on again. It's always fun to hear from you and talk with you and everyone else. And I appreciate people's questions and comments. Thank you. It can be the studio can be a very insular place, which it kind of needs to be, but it is good sometimes to be able to open it up, and show people what's going on in here, because this is kind of like an extension of my brain.
Yeah, now you're letting everybody into to know that. Oh man, well listen, Dan, again, I appreciate it. I'll keep in touch with you regarding the pre-con stuff as they come in, and again, I'm sure we'll talk a few times before we get to OAX. I know we've got some business to take care of too. So, enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for coming on, man.
You too. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
All right. Yeah. Dan is the man, isn't he? But yeah, OX is going to be fun. And I saw where was that? I think, where was it? Jason said something about, Team Oreo will be there to help me out. Thank you, Jason. I know you, Aranga, and Mikhail will definitely have my back when we're hanging out. Especially, you just be sure to have me stop at one beer if you see me trying to order a second one, or somebody trying to buy me a drink. Just tell them that you'll drink it for me. Take one for the team. I know that won't be a problem. So what else? I saw some other comments fluttering in other than Jason emailing Dan about that piece. I don't know. I think I've actually missed highlighting a couple things. Goo is not going to make it to OAX. I really hope everyone has a great time at OAX. I won't be there. Have a blast. Well, Goo, there's going to be, there'll be a second and a third and a fifth. So if you can't go to the 2024 OAX, there are other opportunities in the future. So let's see. Jason wants to know we're paying for up front or at the show. We've been doing them all up front, Jason, and with Dan's stuff, we'll be taking care of it. So yeah, they'll be paying up front. And if we pay up front, aren't done by the show? What will happen? Well, they will be done by the show. That was kind of the limitation we kind of put on things. It's like that we didn't want to take any more than the artist could commit to getting done by the show. Now, I mean, I guess you're right. Could there be a situation that could make that happen? I mean, hopefully we don't have to address that or have that become an issue, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Or you know what? I'll talk to the CEO. I know you talked to the CEO today. So you should just ask Kazra when you had the hotline. But anyway, Rick Wells said, if that's an extension of Dan's brain, I like the way he thinks. Exactly. That is a good way to look at it, Mr. Welch. Let's see. Marcus thinks they'll carry me back home. I think if they just carry me back to my room, Marcus, I'll be happy with that. Jerry Bourne says, I'm going to go bankrupt before I get to Orlando. Well, the whole plan, our thought with doing the pre-cons and helping the artists, take pre-cons was that, gives you a chance to buy a few things before the show and hopefully replenish your finances by the time you get to the show too. So, because at the end of the day, the artists coming to the show, if they've those who took pre-con stuff, they already have kind of a sense of, they've already earned money before they even walk in the door. That's a good thing. You as a collector know you're going to be picking something up when you get there, and you'll be able to, you've got free will to go after and commission anybody else who's going to be there. Ronald Shepard wanted to know, will there be an area at OAX for collectors to show their artwork? Indeed, Ron, there is actually going to be a 7,500 square foot room filled with round tables that is just off the main, exhibit hall. And that was intentional. We were actually going to try to, anybody, and I know there weren't a lot, but I had that get together in Columbus last August, or the August before last. And when we did that, I intentionally put round tables within the center of the space, and it worked out perfectly. So when we were sitting down to draft the floor plan for OAX, we knew going into it that initially, and I don't have any of them nearby, I actually drew the floor plan with maybe a dozen round tables in the room. But as we had more and more interest, we couldn't put the round tables inside the exhibit hall area because it's pretty well filled with with more like 12 or 15 foot aisles down there. But as we expanded into this other section, just about 40 feet off of the main exhibit hall is a very large room that is near where the auction is going to be held on Saturday night. And there will probably be at least 15 or 20 8-foot round tables in there, so that each table will have 6 or 8 chairs at it. So that's going to be space for collectors to hang out. There's a few groups that I know that are coming out there. CFA APA is supposed to come out, and they were like, can we have a place to kind of sit down and have have a powwow? And so I said, sure, you can pull a couple round tables to towards one of the corners of that room if you want to kind of set up your own space. So it's definitely plenty of room for that, because at the end of the day, we know when we have 400 or 500 or more people in the room with portfolios, I would have to believe you guys are going to want to sit down, hang out, and in a comfortable setting and show off the artwork in your portfolio. So we wanted to give you a space to do that, and you will have that in spades there. Trust me, I intend to walk over there a lot. I'd like to think that a few artists are going to walk over there too. I mean, it's going to be a really cool opportunity to get to hang out as collectors. So Ram says, I love that we can do these pre-orders. I hate going to a con and everyone is booked up. Well, that was the idea too. We just really felt like, most shows don't take, well, I'd say, I don't think there's any shows out there that take an active role in working with the artists to do pre-con work. And we just decided that had to be a kind of a tenet of what we were doing. We wanted to make sure that, not every artist is going to do that. We know that going in. But for those that were willing to do that, we wanted to assist. And Snazzy, this is my Weird Al Yankovic shirt. Apparently, I saw a couple people like right at the same time. I think it was Jason, and I don't know who the other person was commenting on it. But I saw earlier that people were wondering if I had taken Gwen out for, maybe I was dressed up because I took Gwen out for her 21st birthday. That is tomorrow night. I'm going to take her out tomorrow. I don't know what time, but again, I don't think she's going to be a beer drinker. I think she's either going to be a wine or a cider drinker. So I'll have the beer. She can have the cider or the wine or whatever she wants to have. I'm not going to force her. Maybe they'll let us, sample a few things, and then she can get a glass of whatever the heck she wants. You know how it goes. I mean, well, for those of you with kids who are that old of drinking age, because I saw Jason asked me about that. He said he liked my shirt. Where was the other thing? There was a comment in there somewhere about Weird Al. Drunk Gwen cam. We don't have, she's not drunk yet, Kyle, and hopefully she will not get on any cams when she does. So let's see here. What do we got? I think that pretty much covered all the things outside of Marcus letting everybody know that I do have a hair dryer that I use when I'm dyeing my hair. Yep, you got that right, Marcus. I would never say you were fibbing. So, so there you have it. But I most appreciate the fact that Team Oreo will have my back at the. Yeah, Jason, you don't spoil it for me, man. If how would you know that kind of thing? But when did you? How old were you, Jason, when you had your first beer? Come on, spill it. Yeah, let's spill it right now. Let's hear. Jason's first beer happened when he was what age? Come on, tell us. Yeah, the gassy thing too. That's right, Marcus. Thank you. Jason was 2. Okay, Jason was 14 years old when he had his first beer. All right. Yeah, Stephen Nam, we're all having a good time in here tonight. But okay, let's see. Hydra said he had his first beer at 5 years old. I don't remember. I don't remember when I had my first beer. He was still in the womb, said James. When gosh, I don't know. I know that I had a first beer probably when I was about 13, and I didn't like it. I remember that it took a while for me to figure out that beer was all right. But now I love it. But now I'm not drinking it because I had to cut beer out of my diet to kind of get down and cut Coke out of my diet and just only drink Zevia. Everybody, you know how much I love this drink. This is Chuck White was 18. My goodness. Best part when they card Gwen is grins. Her 21-year-old ID. Yeah, she's gonna enjoy that. So yes, I'll be sure to take some pictures of Gwen and I going out for our first drink tomorrow night. It'll be fun. Everybody's picking on Jason now. He was in the womb with a cigarette and a beer. Oh boy. So hey, and it's funny. My next segment involves Jason of all people. This is there was a gentleman who had a very bizarre story about some artwork that they ordered. Apparently, they live overseas. They live in France. And when they're ordering art from the U.S., they have the art shipped, I believe, to their father in Florida. And I think like once a year, whenever the father would visit him, they everything was put in a portfolio in an Itoya and put in a suitcase, and he would bring it with him. Well, father flies out. Well, I shouldn't even give you the whole story, but all I can tell you is the father flew out and the suitcase got lost. And it became a very interesting situation to have lost all of their art. Yes. Is it Portugal? Why am I thinking it? But yes, then it's João is the collector's name. They have a calf gallery. I linked it to his calf gallery in the mailing out there. I didn't put it in the show description, unfortunately. But yeah, let me go ahead and pull up this video. It's a little over 10 minutes, so I have to cue it up in that other manner. But yeah, this was a very interesting thing, and I'm glad that Jason said. I guess Jason heard the story and said, "Man, you ought to give that story to Bill and show off what was in the portfolio." And so he did. He did, and that's there we go. I'm gonna cue this thing up here and play it for everybody. So here we go. Let's see. Let's hear the story. This thing there.
Hello, my name is João Vilela. I'm an original art collector from Europe. And I'm here to tell you a small early Christmas story. So why early Christmas in October? It's like actually a story that was 2 years in the making. And so to tell you that, I have a Itoya portfolio here, and now I'm going to show you, and I'll tell you the story during the presentation. So this is the portfolio I was talking about. So the story behind this is since I live in Europe and most of the OA market is in the US, I was going through some purchases, and some of them were just shipping in US only. So I thought, well, why don't I take advantage of having my godfather living in US, and he will receive a page from me. So this started to be one page, and then another, and then next summer he comes to visit and he brings me some pages. And then the last time he did that, it was 2 years ago. So in the following 2 years, I didn't have a chance to meet with him. Well, he came here last year with a portfolio with some pages, and the baggage got lost. It was a nerve wreck for some time, and then the baggage was returned to the US. So I didn't lose the pages, but it was a problem then. I continued to purchase. He continued to receive the page from me. So after 2 years and a bit, he came home this weekend. So here it is, my early Christmas gift. So this, you can see from the selection of pages that I'm going to show you that this is mostly related, X-related stuff, X-Men or adjacent titles. Some older pages, well, not so old, but and some new ones. So let's start here. So this first one was purchased at the tail end of 2021, so almost 2 years ago. And this is a Wolverine Knight of Terra page from, well, issue 1. It's actually on one issue only. It's by Jan Dorsema and Rick Magyar. Is this correct? So the following page resulted from a cool trade that I had with a page that I had that I sent to the US. It's a very, very cool Simon Bianchi page from Astonishing X-Men 27. And then we have a pencil page. I don't have that many pencil pages. At the beginning I wasn't liking very much of them, but then I found some really cool stuff on pencil only. And there's a lot of pencil only pages now. So this is from A versus X Consequences, number 2. So following this, we have 2 pages from the same artist, Corey Smith, from X-Men Blue. These were actually not purchased for me, but for my son. He loved this title. So there are the chance, he already had 1 page from this artist and he loved this, so I bought a couple of them for him. After this, I've got a Blaze number 4 page. It's actually a strange page to have here in the middle of this collection, but if you see, there's a Warpath here in the middle panels. So Warpath was featuring in this issue, and I thought it was a cool idea to get a page. This was purchased directly from Henry Martinez, the penciler. So then we have a very cool page from the new X-Men artist, Josh Cassara. And I bought this directly from him also. This is a very cool page featuring Wolverine and Jean Grey, my favorite X-Men. I've got a cool gift with this, but I'll show you at the end of the portfolio. So next up, it's also a new pages from new artists. So I bought these 2 directly from Robert Gill, is the artist on this one, and this is actually my first cover. I had never purchased a splash or a page, so this is a page cover that I got from him. It's an alternate cover from issue 27, yeah. And this is a page from the same issue, featuring very cool shots and Omega Red being reborn. Next up, we've got an older page from X Factor. So this is actually X Factor 9. It's very cool Terry Shoemaker and Joseph Rubinstein page featuring the full team and also the Freedom Force or Brotherhood, how you want to call it. Next up, I have a commission from my friend Scott Barnett. He made this as a retelling of the Uncanny X-Men 138 page. So this is using a blue line of John Byrne's pencils, and he recreated the inks, and then we added some words to it. It came out really cool. And then this is a page that I like a lot, and it's from the Age of Apocalypse story from Weapon X, and it's Adam Kubert and Dan Green. I got this directly from a friend also. Not a lot of Wolverine on the page, but he's in every panel actually, and it's a really cool Wonder War shot here. Next up, it's a prelim pencil page by Rob Liefeld. Well, the budget on these pages is going a bit beyond my wallet, so I was able to get a pencil prelim on a smaller size page. This is actually the last page from the story. And next up, we have a very, very cool find that my son did on the internet. He was just looking around for original art to color, and he found this. And I contacted the owner, and he sold it. So this is actually a very cool Brett Booth page from Fantastic Four 7, so the first issue after Jim Lee left. And it's got, as far as I understand, the first appearance of Wolverine and any other mutant on this Heroes Reborn story. Next up, we have a page from Cable 42 by Randy Green and Scott Anna. There's a few cool details here, not able to show you like this, but there's a patch here over the face to make a correction. And it's signed by the inker on the front, but Randy Green signed it on pencil on the back of the page. So next up is Uncanny X-Men page. It's from the Billy 10 run that he did. It's a really, really cool details, and the storytelling is very, very cool on this page. Next up, page that is not from X-Men or related, but you can recognize the artist. So John Byrne was also a very big influence on me, and I really liked it. And my friend Scott Barnett was able to get this for me directly from Jim Warden. So I took the chance and bought this very cool page that tells the story of the origin of these mutates on the John Byrne's X-Men story. Next up, it's also a new one for me, and my first DPS. So it's a double page spread with a story that flows like this on the comic, and it's really cool. It's oversized. As you can see, the pages are almost going out of the portfolio here. These were done by Adam Kubert and Dexter Vines, and these were bought directly from Dexter. Next up, probably my two favorite pages from this portfolio, and this is one of the favorite for me, and this is a huge get for me. I didn't buy this one, it was a trade. I have to let go of a very cool Andy Kubert page to get this, but Generation X #1 was like one of my favorite comics back then, and I love to get this very cool skin, almost half splash page, and I love this art. Very cool details on the pencils. Some pencils are still visible. Paste up word balloons, so it's really cool page. And then I had to replace my Andy Kubert page, so I got another one. Also had to sell another. I traded this for an Andy Kubert, and then I sold the Chris Bacall to get this. So it's a trade for trade. Got a very cool Onslaught page from the X-Men magazine by Andy Kubert here. It features some X-Men here on top, and then some Avengers and Fantastic Four here on the bottom panels. So almost at the end, and we have here two pages, again, not related to the X-Men, but again, with artists related to them. So this is my first and only Jim Lee, Scott Williams page. So it's signed by both of them here. It's really cool. And although no major characters are shown here, this is a Justice League page from issue 10. And the details in inking and the whites and the blacks are really cool, and a lot of powers displayed below. So it's a really cool page. And then I think this is the last one. This is a 2112 page from John Byrne. This is a huge page. As you can see, it's not inside the portfolio because this is a 13 by 19 and the page doesn't fit here. So this is actually done for Marvel Comics. At the beginning, it was supposed to be a Tomorrow book, and then it changed into 2112. I think some of you might know the story. It's a really cool page, all done by Byrne, and huge signature here on the bottom. So this is I think the last page here I got. Still have some stuff here at the end. Yeah, a couple of sketches from very well-known artists that I probably would never be able to get a page from them, but I got two cool sketches. One from Walter Simonson doing Cyclops for the X-Men Legend that he did a couple of years ago, and then another one, a very old Travis Charest sketch of Gambit, very cool. I got another Wolverine sketch from Josh Cassari here, and one Ghost Rider. So, and some nice stickers, and well, this is it. So this is my early Christmas gift that I wanted to share with you. How do you like it?
We like it. It's always great, nice to have a very happy ending at the end of something as tragic as a lost suitcase full of comic art. That sounds like the worst nightmare for many of us collectors, right? But yeah, and that's Walt Simonson Cyclops. If I would have seen that, I would have bought that as well. I always check out those art drops that who does that? Hildebrandt's site, I think, posts those Simonson drops every now and again. But I think there's been a few X-Men characters, but no Cyclops yet. If there would have been, I would have picked one up. He did do a great job, Jason. Yes, as a first-time weekly flip. But that's a good reminder. You know, we haven't had a weekly flip in probably like 4 or 5 months, maybe even more than that. Not much of a weekly flip when we are twice annual weekly flip. So for those of you who haven't done one or that would want to do another one, you know, I'm always happy to get those. If you want to do a weekly flip, just email me, bill@comicartfans.com, and I will give you the scoop on what to do. Film it horizontally is the main thing, and then we can give you a Google Drive link or something, or you could do a Dropbox and get me it. But yeah, we need some weekly flips. We haven't had a crib in a while either, and I know many of you have very elegant displays of your original comic art collections at home. So if you ever want to do that, hit me up with that as well. And you're right, Spiderweb Art, Rick Welch. Thank you. I was struggling remembering the Hildebrandt name. But yeah, there you have it. So you know, I have a page I love, but I'm gonna hold off on that till next week. We kind of ran a little bit long having 3 artists talk you know, about the pre-con ops and stuff, and getting to have the opportunity to hang out with Jonathan for a first time. And Dan's always got something to say. That was cool. I like seeing his workspace. I could not imagine working in a tiny cramped space as that, but clearly it works for Dan. And again, yeah, that was a look inside of his brain. So I think I'm going to table the Dave Johnson page I love until next week. So apologies to Kevin Sharp for you know, put the effort in. I got the thing video, you know, it all edited and everything. Prepped it, ready to go, but we're going to skip it for now. So what will I jump to? Let's talk a little bit about the schedule and a few other things too, right? Because what do we got? We got Comic Art Live happening in less than 8 days. My goodness, it's we're almost there. Maybe it's 9 days from now. But in 8 days, the mystery sketch will close as far as the ability for people to pick up their mystery sketches. And I can tell you, we need to sell a few more of those. So I'll be sending out a mailing, I'm sure, tomorrow. I don't know what the count is right now. We're probably around 75, 80. I don't know. I think last time we were somewhere in the 120 range. So we got a week to go. And I fully expect us to get wherever we ended up last time around. But it'd be nice if we actually finished a little bit higher than the time before. So I'll make a push for that. And, you know, so expect a few emails promoting it, getting the word out. If you know, maybe I'll even probably hitting up a couple sketch groups that many of you are in. So please don't consider it spam. But yeah, I want to get the word out. We got a few new artists that are working with us this time around. And we want to keep everybody busy rather than just having 1 or 2 pieces to do. It'd be nice if, you know, most guys and gals could have 3 to 4 pieces to work on. That would be nice. So Doodles96 is looking forward to seeing which artists I get for my mystery sketches. Well, I like that. Plural. That is what I want to hear. At the end of the day, think about it, everybody. All the complaining and, you know, that we hear about with prices on things that are out there, head sketches going for $700 and more and whatever, you know, I mean, it is where things are at these days. But with the mystery sketch still priced at you know, $200 plus $25 for shipping, I mean, I don't think there's any better deal than that, right? I mean, you've seen the work that's been done in years past. It's phenomenal. I mean, the artists that get these things typically are going, you know, a little bit overboard for us because it's for me. I don't know why they do it, but they do it, and it's for you. So, you know, help them out, support them. It supports the show just a little bit. We get a small commission from all the sales, but at the end of the day, we're trying to keep the artists pretty busy as well. I mean, that's kind of just like with the pre-con stuff that we're doing for OAX. We're really taking all the things that we've been working on with Comic Art Live and the things we've been doing on the channel, and kind of bringing that into OAX. So support artists by picking up a mystery sketch. And how do you pick up a mystery sketch? I mean, the easiest way to do it is you go over to CAF, click the Comic Art Live link that's up in the menu, and right up at the top it says click here to pick up a mystery sketch. So do that, pick up one, pick up several. I end up, Maureen and the kids always end up buying like 5 or 6 every time, and I'm sure they will do it again. They haven't bought theirs yet either, so I know we'll be getting a batch of them as well. But if you can do it, that'd be great. But for those of you planning on exhibiting at OAX, I don't even know where we're at with numbers. I'm kind of curious right myself how many exhibitors we have signed up. And I always like to do this. I think I do this every single show that we've got. I tease you guys with some information just to see what's out there. So let's see. I don't know if I want to give anything major away, but let's see. Yeah, we got a ways to go. We only have it's under 1,000 artworks posted to Comic Art Live for now, but we know everybody posts at the in the last week, and really everybody posts in the last 2 days. So being at around 1,000 right now isn't terrible. We have just over 100 exhibitors in there. I know that number is going to grow to over 300 exhibitors before we get there. But we've got a lot of work to do. So I always tell everybody, if when you're setting up your booth, do not wait until the last second, because, every show, there are 2 art drops, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. The hall opens to premium members at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. So the Saturday art drop, it closes at 10 a.m. that day. So we have an hour to get out our premium member emails so that people know the art drops that match their favorite keywords, and gives up premium members the big jump on buying artwork at Comic Art Live. So yeah, that's the thing. We got until 10 a.m. on Saturday, the 11th. So, but yeah, I'm curious, what's the most expensive piece that's in here right now? Well, not too high. See, this is the same thing we saw last time, so I'll be really curious. We did pretty well with the show last in what was that, May. We still reached about 1.3 million in sales for that weekend. But the interesting thing that we had going on with that last show was that we didn't really have any 6-figure and up pieces that were for sale during that. And right now, the highest priced item that is in the sale is $40,000. It's a piece of art by J. Scott Campbell. And the next, we've got several $30,000 pieces. We got an Alex Toth. We got a Jackson Geis, Tom Greinberg DPS, and a Trad Moore Silver Surfer page. 30 grand for that. So a lot of work for you guys to do. So I expect everybody to be really busy. If you have any problems, questions about Comic Art Live, you know how to reach out to me, bill@comicartfans.com. I'm happy to answer questions. Just remember, you got to be a premium member to have an exhibitor booth. It's still free after you have your premium membership in place to set up your booth. No fee at all right now. And as far as getting in the hall, the show opens to the general public next Saturday at 1 p.m. 1 p.m., but it opens to premium members at 11 a.m. So for those of you who are premium or thinking about going premium, you can see the advantage of being able to get into the hall 2 hours early. And the other huge advantage that premium members get is that 30-minute alert at 10:30, so a half hour before the hall opens. You will get a list of all of those important matches to the artwork that you want to buy listed in there. I don't think there'll be any Bill Lash pages out there, Marcus, but if there is one and you want to pay $1.2 million for it, you're more than welcome to do that. Marcus does accept wires. He probably accepts all forms of transfers. So let's see. What do we got else? So other than that, Comic Art Live being the big thing, I can show off the schedule. Let's see. Jason says I have to do my booth, Bill, and order a sketch. Stop pressuring me. Yes, I get it, man. I get it. And it's always funny. I mean, literally, we'll be talking about this next week, right? And it'll be a little more than 24 hours before the thing locks. And I bet you at that point we probably won't even have 3,000 pieces of art posted. But Friday, all the way leading up to the cutoff point on Saturday, there'll be literally another 3,000 artworks added during that time window. I don't know why everybody procrastinates, but it is how things tend to work with Comic Art Live. So let's take a look at the schedule. I didn't update it from last week, everybody, so it's still got some expired stuff here at the beginning. But what do I got going on? I got a Kevin Nolan art sale on Saturday. Well, let's just say I'm expecting to have a comic art sale with Kevin Nolan at Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I know that Kevin was at a show last weekend, and he, I think, came down with COVID. So, or at least he tested positive. He said he wasn't really feeling terrible, but he did test positive for COVID. So I told him, hey, if you're not feeling well, it's okay. We can always reschedule the event to another time, because I can tell you, I don't know. Well, we have a package here from Kevin that we're going to open up after I'm done looking at this, but I know that he didn't send me a lot of art. So we don't have a whole lot of art to sell, but hopefully what we got is good. One thing that was kind of cool, Kevin showed me a couple scans from his pre-con list. If everybody remembered, he took a list of 6 11 by 14 pre-con pieces when I had him on in June, and I think he's about halfway through them. But the interesting thing was, Kevin, I tell you, I love that guy. He's not charging enough, because the first piece he showed me, these are supposed to be single character 11 by 14s. He put 2 characters in the first one. Kevin's a very reasonable man when on his con sketches, as everybody knows who's ever gotten one from him. And so, I usually they're 9 by 12. I said, let's do something unique. We'll go 11 by 14. We'll charge a little bit more for him. And so he's decided, since the pieces are bigger, he's going to put more into them. So those of you who were in that select 6 that definitely got your commission picked, I think you're going to be pretty darn happy with them, because the one I saw, the one that was 100% finished, was stunning, and the 2 other ones that were kind of they were just starting to be inked, I could tell are going to be unbelievable. So Kevin is going over and above what I would have expected for that, which is wonderful. Outside of Kevin, on Saturday, James will have a sketchbook show on Monday. I've got a Hakes preview on Tuesday next week. I still didn't see, this is with the messed up slide still. Larry is going to be doing a collector conversation the day after Comic Art Live, which is a Monday. So that's on the 13th. And then I'll have Sean Watkins from Athenium Comic Art on the 14th. And then there's the whole schedule of Comic Art Live. We'll go over all of that next Thursday in more detail. But we've got lots of stuff going on with Allred, Chaikin, Paulo Rivera. And I have to tell everybody, tomorrow, yes, it's Friday, I've got a pretty big announcement. I have a really special artist that is going to be having a panel on 11/11, and that is next Saturday during Comic Art Live. It's going to be an art drop panel. It'll be an hour, and everybody, if you're a Batman fan and a fan of this artist, you're going to want to tune in, because it's going to be pretty freaking awesome. And there'll be other announcements to make as well after we get through that show. But who else we got on there? Fred Hembeck. He is on the 18th, everybody. I know that there's been some disinformation that's been put out there, but Fred Hembeck, 2 p.m. Eastern on the 18th. That'll be the Saturday after next. And then we got a Mike Makeoffer show on Monday, the 21st. But that Hembeck show, as I teased on the Fred Hembeck, dominates Facebook, or whatever the heck they've called it. I've got 6 pieces that are going to be auctioned off in the Fred Hembeck show, and I could actually tease them, but I won't. Maybe I'll save those for next week or the week after Comic Art Live. But the thing is, Fred has done 2 9 by 12 color pieces that have 15 characters or more on them, 1 Marvel, 1 DC. He's done 2 sketch cards, one that has 11 characters on it. We have a published Fred Hembeck Marvel cover, and it's pretty dang cool. And then we have a published Marvel Age page. that I think is going to blow you away as well. So these are all, I mean, you just don't see this stuff from Fred, and we will be auctioning them off rather than having a fixed price on any of these items. These are kind of unheard of, uncharted territory. Tease one, says Goo. Maybe maybe I will before the end of the show. Maybe one. No, I don't want to do that. No. This, you guys can just think about it. We still have 2 weeks to. It's the 18th. I'll tease something before then just to get everybody interested. But if you're a Hembeck fan, you're going to be in heaven. So what else we got? Mannix does have a commission list, everybody. One thing, Jason had asked about this. Several people had asked about this. People were saying, where can I get the pre-con list? When are you ever going to make a consolidated pre-con list? With OAX, if you go over to oa-expo.com, there's a link up there for pre-cons. There's a whole pre-con list on the website now. I know we didn't really talk about it. Adam Hughes did sell out of his pre-con list. I know everybody was like kind of surprised at the prices that Adam had on his pre-con stuff, but of course, I think we just saw a auction at Asner charity auction that Heritage hosted, where a 9x12, I think it was, that went for $14,000. So the prices that Adam had on his pre-con stuff were not outrageous, and he sold out. I mean, I think they actually did better than they were expecting. So that was pretty cool. It was I don't know. It's been a very interesting time trying to go through all these things, but it worked out really good for him. Small hint on the cover. I gave you Marvel fan. I gave you Marvel. I could tell you that there's over. What would be a hint? There is over. I'm just going to take a wild guess because I'm not looking at it. I think there's at least 18 figures on that cover. 18. Just a guess. And see, even Jason's trying to get Hembeck to give it up, and he won't give it up. Let's see. What do we got next? So we have I don't know, the pre-con list. Jason, if you wanted it, that's over at OAX. So next, I got the packages here. So let's see what we got. I got one package here from Anthony, my good friend Anthony Snyder. It's clearly a comic book. He's been sending me one comic book a week. What do we got here? Could it be a Cyclops comic again? Could it be a Bill Lash comic? I don't know. What do you think, Marcus? What could it be? Maybe it's not even a comic book at all. There you go. Anthony, Anthony spends a lot of money. He even has his own printed bags. Let's see here. Okay, it's not a comic book. Okay. Don't know what it is. What on earth? Well, it's not something that I would have expected. It is. I have no idea, what the reference on this thing would be. This is almost as well. I won't even go there. Look at this. This is what is that? John Denver with the Muppets. Now, if it would have been signed by Miss Piggy or Kermit or something, that would have been extra special. I guess maybe I might be able to, maybe head over to Disney and get somebody to sign it for me there. But very interesting. It's an old photograph as well. Maybe it's signed on the back. So yeah, I don't know, man, what this is for. But Anthony, thank you so much. I know that he is a fan of the Muppets, and he did give me a piece of Muppets art when he was here last February. So this is interesting. It'll find its place somewhere on the wall of fame back there. Now, all right, this is the package I got from Kevin Nolan yesterday. So this is whatever we have to sell on the Saturday show. That we'll also have some unsold stuff from the last show that he repriced with me. So let's see what do we got in here. He packed it in Masonite. I always appreciate that. Okay, but he didn't use painter's tape. There we go. All right. Okay, well, everybody will be happy with this first one. Now, these are all on 9x12s. Oh, wait a minute. He actually did do them separate. They're just all taped together. All right. Well, then maybe I'll just do it that way. I'll leave them in the bags. So we got a Doctor Strange, right? Everybody's favorite doctor right there. It's the only doctor you don't mind going to see. Then we got Okay. A nice Batman. That is pretty nice. And let's see, is it a Cyclops? Could it be a Cyclops? Could it be an X-Men character? No, it's not. It is the Man of Steel right there. Look at that. That's not too bad. So we got Superman, we got Batman, and we got a Doctor Strange from Mr. Kevin Nolan. That's awesome. So that's all I got, though. That's what we'll have. 3 new pieces. Rams. These are 9x12s, Carlos. And I don't recall. I'd have to go back and look at the email that we had as far as pricing on these. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, Jason would know. He bought so much DCY. Jason bought one of the pieces that was 9x12 last time. What were they, Jason? Were they 700, 650? I can't remember. But I'll have to talk with Kevin and figure it out. But they'll be somewhere in that area. So very nicely done. Thank you, Kevin. We'll hopefully all see Kevin on Saturday as long as he is feeling up to snuff. Jonathan, Mr. Wayshack got another commission request. Yeah, Jonathan's pretty popular. So that's good to hear. Good to see. 750 Jason has with a question mark. I don't recall. That may be it. So I think that is all that I've got on the package side. Mr. Snork is in the green room. He's been very busy on his drinking app of late. So I finally turned notifications on that thing, man. And I there was one day, it was like in the middle of the afternoon. It felt like a work day. I don't know what day it was. I just kept getting ping, 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 and I knew it was you. And it wasn't Miller High Life you were drinking.
No, I think I was at I think that was a Saturday. I was at Pulpit Rock in Iowa and doing sampling a lot of stouts.
Well, I was working, so maybe I felt like you should have been working too. Actually, yeah, I think you're right. I think I was on a stream or something. It kept popping up, and I was like, "What is Chris doing on an afternoon?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, good for you, man.
Making the best use of the time.
Indeed. So how you been? Well, you had a few beers. You're back on the wagon a little bit, and life is good.
Yeah, feeling good. Keeping the weight off, which was the goal with the getting rid of the beer. So it's all about moderation.
Jason wants me to play the music. Okay, not this week, Jason. Next week we'll play some music for Chris.
Jason, so, I'm gonna do picks, and then you can have the music.
So what else is new? Did you get any art this last week?
I did. Well, I ordered a couple things, but no, nothing yet.
Okay, well that's I haven't picked up anything either, but I did put a lot of bids on stuff. There was a few things on the Heritage Weekly auction that I actually liked and made sure to avoid picking out and talking about today. And there was a couple things on Comic Link even. There was actually one thing on eBay I even placed a bid on. So yeah, kind of weird to have that happen. But
that's funny. I bid on something on eBay too. It's kind of a weird coincidence. Yeah, it's unlikely to be the same thing.
Okay. Was yours art related though? I'm sure it must be.
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, then that narrows it down to at least 40,000 pieces of something.
Yeah. I'm not going to let any of these savages in the chat know because they'll probably shill bid me just to be spiteful.
Well, you know Jason would. He
would for sure. I was not speaking directly to Jason, but I was speaking directly to Jason.
Jason says, Bill, you win those C-Link thing. Yep. No, I won't tell anybody about it, but I will say the one there was that one. I mean, I don't even mind saying it. It's Yoda smoking, smoking a bong. Jason, of all he pings me on Facebook. He's like, Bill, there's a piece of art you have to buy. As if like collecting art with bongs and people using them are going to be my new thing, right? But yeah, and Yoda smoking a bong, and it's a small illustration, right? So I put a bid on it. I got outbid almost immediately, and I think I put it up to 25. So I put another bid on it, and I got outbid again. Who's gonna bid on? I mean, seriously, if you're in the chat, everybody, just lay off it. Come on, I shouldn't have to spend more than $30 for this thing. If I'm gonna cost that much to ship it.
Oh man.
Yes, I am now an art bong collector. I'm sure every time something pops up with a bong on it, everybody's going to be hitting me.
You got to have a piece with Dr. Bong.
That's right.
The bellhead villain.
Right, exactly. No, not the same though. I still have. I got to put the Aquabong thing in a frame or something. Get it up on the wall one of these days.
For sure.
High Times cover child, says Troy Pierce. Indeed. Make you high at will, says Rich. Oh, yeah. All right.
If you really want bong pages, we probably shouldn't be talking about them on here because they'll get snapped up.
They will. They're actually going to be a thing soon.
Mhm.
All right. Well, let's get this thing rolling here. I got my heritage picks to go through. So let me see. Get the screen presented here. Where are you? Let's see here. And all right, what do we got here? I can't even remember what I picked. I did these early in the day. So we got Jim Mooney, Invaders page. This had Frank, was it Springer Inks? Yeah, Springer Inks on this thing. I just thought this was a nice page. I mean, I'm not a huge Invaders fan, but from a nostalgia standpoint, the idea, and I don't mean even it's not nostalgic to me. And whenever I see pages from this era, I always think of early Marvel, stuff. I love seeing Toro against Subby and stuff, and this is just a nice page. I mean, Mooney did a good job on this.
Really cool. Yeah, especially the Human Torch and Namor shot there is awesome.
Yeah. No, that was it right there. And then we all know I don't like the thought bubbly rounded corners art, but I'll deal with it because look, this last panel, is not something that happened in the past, but this is. So that's a good page. Like that one, $270 on that one. And I picked another Kerry Gamble Uncanny page. I think I did this last week too, but I mean, come on, it's Mohawk Storm. Mm-hmm. So I mean, look, this is a nice page. I really like this one, but I knew I wasn't going to bid on it. Let me look at that.
I like the he's kind of channeling BWS there in the bottom left.
Very, very true. Who's the inks on this? Oh, Dan Green. You can't go wrong with Gamble and Green. So sorry for all you fans of X-Men out there, Jason, James, wherever you are. I think you're going to have some competition for this page, but it won't be for me. Let's see, Sheldon Moldoff, Shelley, Batman illustration. I just like I always when I see these, I mean, you always stop and look at them. I mean, I think they're cool. I'm not a DC guy by any means, as we all know, but I think these are awesome. I like his cover recreations probably more, but this was kind of cool. It was funny to see one that wasn't a cover recreation. I mean, they didn't attribute it to a panel or anything. They're just like, what they just said, Batman illustration, which is just kind of cool. So
yeah, it's kind of like a little vignette, like a Batcave vignette. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, nope, I like it a lot. And so that one was out there. And then I like this page. I love it for the first panel. I think this image of Batman in the snow. I mean, it's kind of a Christmas related story piece. Irv Novick pencils, Dick Giordano inks. But that first panel, man, I'm just like, dang. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm picking it. The rest of the panels aren't they're whatever. But that one panel, worth the price of whatever this thing ends up at. Then we had somebody I know that you like, Fernando Passarin and Glapian. This is a Batgirl 22 page from 2013. I just, honestly, this reflection and the shading in Batman's mask here is freaking unbelievable. I mean, look at the detail on this thing. I don't know why Gordon is so mad.
He's pissed.
But look, I mean, even Batman's holding his jaw. I mean, he's like, damn, that hurt.
Yeah.
The commissioner packs a punch, man. At any rate, not knowing the story there. But this is a cool piece. I love this. I mean, the detail in this thing's beautiful. Then I had this name mentioned to me sometime this week. Adam Polina. This is Polina and a Mark Morales X-Force 79 page. Polina's work. I always kind of thought it was cool, but I love the layout on this page with the figure with the and I have no idea what character that is with the pointed fingernails, and just that weird kind of a stained glass feel and the way the panels were done above it. I was like, this is cool. Then what else we got? Carl Critchlow Lobo page. I always like Critchlow's stuff, and then I just thought that image there of Lobo kicks all kinds of rear end.
That's also got a little like kind of Giffen nod and a little bit of Bisley nod there too, which is cool.
Yeah, quite true on that. Yeah, it's not bad. It even sort of feels a little like Cowan in a weird way. So nicely done. Nicely done by Mr. Critchlow. I got 3 more here. There's always lots of Sergio artwork on on Heritage Weekly Auctions. I really like this page. This one was just panel to panel. Every one of these pages are nice, and it's because of the armor on the characters.
Yeah, great black.
Lots of extra detail there. But and this is only at $35. I mean, who knows what'll. I don't really follow his market at all. I might end up throwing a bit on this one because I mean it's just cool. I mean I don't care I know Gru's in there a few times, but the armor on these other guys is awesome.
That's the kind of page where every time you see it in your portfolio, you smile.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just thinking I gotta own this page.
Yeah,
it is that good. Doggone it. All right, I shouldn't have shown this one. I'm pulling this tab out, putting it over there. So let's see. I got a Glenn Fabry. This is what was it? Authority Kev page. You know, a guy on the toilet. I mean, we're never going to show one of these pages again. But I saw it and I'm like, I'm just going to show it because I don't know. I like Fabry's work a lot, and I like the Authority a lot. We're actually going to see a piece of Authority art in a little bit from our good friend Mr. Chuck Arnold. Was one of my picks. So yes. So there you have this, a man on the can. So and Fabry. So then last but not least, I was smitten when I saw this one. It's a Playboy illustration from 1986 by Roland Wilson. And I mean, come on, I don't know. Isn't this nice? I mean, you get the Mountie. I mean, who knows? I don't think it actually did it have. No, it doesn't tell you what the gag is. Maybe it does in the description. But this thing is great. I mean, the colors, the whole composition. I mean, it's freaking. I mean, I'm looking. I shouldn't have picked this one either. I should set this one up. Isn't it? Yeah. I mean, this is a good piece. Really, really nice piece. So yeah, I'm going to set that one over there next to the piece by Sergio. One last look at the man on the can. So we'll add that. Yes, exactly. So those are my heritage picks. It's plop art. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, let's see. 1,300 for Carrie freaking Gamma. Why doesn't the X-Men market ever soften? Jason, because you're in that market. You and James are just competing with one another all the time. I stay out of your way. I completely stay out of your way on that stuff. So there you have it. Heritage picks for the week. Now we can show you the EXP selection. We, of course, had Nick on the show on Monday. It was a lot of fun. Nick sold a lot of $30 and $50 pages on Monday. He made lots of people happy. Wow. I think we had probably 15, 16 different buyers, but they all, got some good stuff. And I think, I mean, there was some good stuff there. Nick actually showed for a solid hour artwork that he's never posted to CAF. And in that hour, it wasn't like he was talking for 5 minutes a piece. He was literally like, and here, holding a stack of art and just going through it, So I think we looked at like 300 pieces of art in the first hour. And then we probably looked at about 100 pieces of art that he had for sale. So as we were just saying, EXP preview happens now. You'll get to see artwork that will be for sale tomorrow on the EXP at 7 o'clock. And Nick is here right now, exclamation point. Yeah, I think he's here. I think he shouted a few times for everybody to hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done it. Come on, get going with that, everybody. So here, let me cue this thing up. And this is a preview, and it's a short preview. Very short preview from Nick on what he's bringing to the show tomorrow.
This Friday, November 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific on the Original Art Experience. We just had a show on Comic Art Live with Bill Cox this past Monday. Had a lot of artwork at $100 or less. Brought some new people into the hobby. Rewarded a lot of existing fans. So we're going to do it again. We've got some Mark Bagley, Scarlet Spider, some Earth 2, Great Lakes Avengers, Robson Roca, Scott Hanna, Scott Eaton. These will all be $100 or less. Also, we were asked for Turok covers. Here's 2 Turok covers available. We'll have Travis Moore, Justice Society, so much more. I just don't want to bring it all out, mostly because I haven't picked it yet. Amy's not going to be here on Friday or Monday, and so please fill out that form because, hey, let's make her job a little easier. It'll be great for all of us. And since it's still Halloween week, I've got a few color guides with Baron Blood. If Amy were here, I would do my undramatic reading so that she can make fun of me. But since Rex is doing this, it's not as funny. So, well, I'll do it. The time is right, dear uncle, and the night is tonight. Tonight, Baron Blood shall drink deep from the cup of vengeance. Oh, well, that won't sell. Every time I do an undramatic reading, it doesn't sell. So, to check out what else we have and what else I can figure out, tune in this Friday, November 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on the Original Art Experience, and hit that thumbs up and share. Sharing is caring. See you Friday.
Indeed, it is sharing, caring. So, so there you have it. Tomorrow night on the EXP with Nick and fans. What 63 watching and 63 likes? I guess we can't ask anybody else to thumbs up. What's up with that? Very good. All right. Let's see. You're quite welcome, Nick. So let's get on with the CAF update here. We've got, I can tell you, we've got some bad scans from a couple places. I think Quan deleted all of his artwork that he sold, and he had some of the higher ticket items that sold during last week. So last week we had $356,000 in sales. Felix, with his big post New York drop, made up the most of it with $167,000 in sales. So another $200,000 went around to several other people. Berkey had 68, Quan had 50, Albert had 35, and Anthony had 23. And Anthony did not win the volume sales because Felix had 173 unique sales. Anthony only had 48, so he came in second on that one. So top 6 sales to dealers last week. What were they? And again, I forgive Quan once more for deleting his stuff early. But what do we got first? We got from Albert. We have this Justice League Godzilla #1 cover. I mean, come on. Seriously? I had no idea this thing came out. $35,000. Jim Lee Scott Williams. And there's no free shipping with that from Albert. Now, see, I told my son just make them small, but he made them big and blurry. So here you go. This is actually Todd McFarlane and Jeremy Opeña. This is from Spawn, issue 301, page 2, went for $12,500. And here we have another blurry one from Quan. $12,500 on this one, too. This is from the same issue of Spawn, but it's page 1. Somebody committing Harikari in that one right there. Oh, my goodness. And this is the only one we have in detail. This is, what was it, from Spawn 300, page 1 on this one. This one sold for $12,500. Todd McFarlane, Jeremy Opeña on that one, too. And then we got another one. This is page 2 from Spawn 300, and it's the same art team. This one sold for $12,500, too. It's a 4, man, that's where he got his $50,000 from right there, those 4 pieces. So last but not least, a Travis piece, X-Men Red Annual #1, sold by Mike. Sold for what we got? $12,500. It's wild.
Wow.
My goodness. So there you have it. There are your top 6 sales from dealers last week. So it still wasn't a bad week, right? They had 356,000. Even though the 167 from Felix, I guess, that's not terrible. We've seen a lot worse sales from dealers in the last 6 months. Then auction houses. We're at 288,000, up from 199 the week before. Now there was that Ed Asner charity auction, which I think amounted for about 43,000 of that figure. So at the end of the day, an average week for the auction houses. We'll take a look at top 3 eBay, top 3 from Heritage Weekly. First up, Jim Steranko. Not a bad one. This is a cap pinup that went for $10,000. Not too bad. I mean,
nice.
I mean, really, seriously, I'm 10,000 might feel a little high, but still, I mean, you're not going to get a nice one like that. Usually too many just headshots and stuff, and Nick Fury and Cap and whatnot. And then we have a Mark Brooks Loki Omnibus cover piece. Again, really nice. Everybody loves Mark's work. $8,000 on that one on eBay. And then the last eBay piece was this cover recreation, the FF #1 by Dick Ayers.
Wow.
I know. I said the same thing when I saw it. I'm like, shoot, that is not too bad. $6,500 was the sale price on that one. Then over to Heritage, we've got Gary Trudeau Doonesbury piece here. Of course, this is from 1971. That's pretty early. So this is $8,400 on that one. Then we have a Carmen Infantino Batman Batmobile. I mean, it looks like I was gonna say it's got to be toy box work, right? And it is, and not too shabby there. This one for $5,280. I'm sure some toy art collector went after that one. And we did feature this one last week. Liam Sharp's Frank Frazetta Death Dealer Splash for this from issue 2, page 34, went for $5,040. It's still as awesome as it was last week.
That's a handsome price.
Yeah. Well, Liam, I like his stuff. I mean, I saw some posts on Facebook by him, the last week where he's kind of talking about his older work to his newer work and feeling like, he's evolved a lot. And because I think that's like a 20-year-old piece or something like that. So you wonder, what does he think about that time period for him? But anyway, I thought it's great. It's great. So let's move on to our picks, shall we?
Yeah.
We've got
I'm ready.
Your window all ready to share here. And where are you? Oh, there it is. All right. So we got first up. I mean, when Joe Sinnott inks somebody, you know you're going to get something good. And when that somebody is John Buscema, you know you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Thing. My word.
This jumped out at me from the site. Obviously, the thumbnail looks so incredible, but Stranger and is that Overmind down there?
I forget.
I can't remember his name. But anyway, I'm just like super cosmic, like such an awesome, period piece for sure, because this is always kind of what was happening in the book at the time. And just like so impeccably drawn and so impeccably inked. Like you said it best. I mean, this is like the combo.
Yeah. I mean, you look at this era, and again, just all the the detail in his face, the flame around his face, the little Kirby work here. This thing is just a perfect prime example of Buscema and Sinnott. It doesn't matter what the characters are on it. It's a beautiful page. And I did, just to point it out, I saw James mention that Stranko piece was used as a variant cover. I did not know that. Okay. I didn't read the description. Because I think the title of it didn't even say it was a cover. It said it was. I think it only said commission in the title. So, well, that's my fault for not reading the description, but thanks for letting me know, James. But yeah, this is a great piece. Yeah. Well, now it seems like a steal then at $10,000. Somebody got a good deal.
You got a Stranko cover.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, that was pretty well done. So this was in Glenn Crane's Calf Gallery, one you really should check out if you've never looked before. So I got my like on that one. Then we've got this piece by Jesse Lonergan.
So this is Jesse is like really not afraid to experiment when he's doing these like specialty pieces or commissions. And he was doing block printing for a while. He was making patterns out of block prints in different colors and things like that. And those were amazing. I picked this because this is all constructed from screen tone, which I thought was like, what a cool effect. And I mean, there's a, itty bitty little bit of ink work on here, but
around the fingers. Just,
yeah. I mean, using this as your media, I don't think I've seen this before.
That is quite unique. Yeah, it's 3x5, so very small, which is kind of what I was expecting it not to be a very large piece, but yeah, no, it's, hey, I don't think we've picked anything that looks quite like that before. Jesse Lonergan. I'm gonna just kind of curious. What do we got here?
There's quite a bit up there. I've picked something from him before, and he recently changed outfits. I think he might be with Cadence now.
Aha. Yeah, I was trying. I knew I'd seen the name before, but now I recognize the style here. I should just like show this is a really cool piece. Look at that. That's nice.
I think Mikhail has one of the stamped ones that he did a while back.
Huh. Well, there you go. Yeah. So it's a stat, says Jason. Maybe. Well, we can't have none of that.
It's made of stats. It's like, yeah.
I'm with you on that one. Let's see here. What's next? Rafa Sandoval. We've got this is in Matthew P's Calf Gallery. We got Action Comics DPS. Holy mackerel, this is a huge scan.
Right? That actually influenced my decision in picking it. That top panel going across both pages, I think, is awesome. Like, such a huge, like, impactful piece. And the hatching inside of his cape is like almost unnecessarily artsy, which I gravitate to. But it's this page is all about that top third. I think that's just like, it's perfect. Like, what an awesome iconic image of Superman. kind of harkens back to Alex Ross and, those kinds of things. But these power effects in these panels of the throughout the rest of the page are so well done. It's just such a great Superman page.
It's nice. I like this panel here too with the Daily Planet set like that. That's it's very, very, very nice. Well, I've always liked Sandoval's work. This is a good piece. Whose calf was this? Oh, Matthew Peace. That's right, Matthew P. Oh, Marcus got his comment in there too. Never misses a comment opportunity on a good piece like this. So I'll get my like on there. I don't comment too often. This was a good piece. Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos. And of course, this is in Alberto's calf gallery, rightfully so. Man, look at the detail on this thing.
This is Carlos Magno is like kind of quietly doing some really awesome stuff. So I appreciate that, but I think more people should be paying attention to him because he's putting out this kind of, this caliber of work. I mean, the detail on this is absolutely nutty. And, it's a tremendous job of inking. And I think, Halloween was this week, and obviously that had a little influence on this pick as well. But it's such a cool, creepy, kind of gnarly looking illustration.
Yeah, no, I mean, when I saw it, I was smitten by it. I thought, it's just incredibly well done. And I don't know anything about whatever the book it was from, but yeah, it's awesome. It is really, really nice. And Alberto's got a good one here. This is sweet. Magno's work, is always impressive. So yeah, this is slick. Congrats, Alberto. Is Alberto in the chat? I don't recall seeing him tonight. Maybe I just haven't been paying enough attention.
I don't know.
Well, let's see. What do we got next? Batman in a Graveyard by Danny Earls.
So Danny Earls is an artist that I kind of found through Facebook, and not Facebook, I'm sorry, Instagram. And the amount of work that he's doing for the big two is picking up and up and up and up. But he has this little thing that he does pretty frequently on Instagram where he's like, well, I'm going to draw Batman in a graveyard. And so he lays down these really, ethereal washes, and then he kind of, picks and chooses where he drops in a tree, and then, figures out a cool way to, kind of work Batman into the composition, so to speak, because it's really more about the graveyard. So, I think the fact that Batman is a little bit of an afterthought in here is cool. It's also, obviously it's got, there's a little Mignola-esque feeling to this piece, but.
Cool. I don't think, have we ever picked anything from Danny Earls before?
Nope.
I don't feel like we have.
Nope.
Cool. And then who, of course, Greg and Amanda. I mean, they always find the interesting artists, that kind of fall into all, I don't want to say they fall into fine art, but they do pick a lot of very painterly, pick people to either commission or buy artwork from.
Yeah, I think Danny is I want to say he's a former professional soccer player who, it's kind of a wild story, actually.
That I don't think we have had any artists that are professional soccer players.
No.
All right, well, nice piece here, and congrats to Greg. Now we just had Mr. Brereton on earlier. We've got an Immortal Iron Fist annual page here with some really angry women in it.
So they did this. Yeah, I mean, Orson Randall is the the Iron Fist before Danny Rand became Iron Fist. And is a very pulpy character, and that's really why I picked this. This is really super, dead on from a tonal perspective. The tone of the look of the art overall is very pulpy in my mind. The sepia tone backgrounds and the skies and things like that is really pulpy to me, and I think Brereton is one of those artists where it's I wonder how he would what his art would look like if he was doing X, you know what I mean? Because we associate him with certain things, but you have to imagine when an artist sees a script and he says well, there's 5 Asian ladies in silk dresses shooting Tommy guns. He's got to be oh my God. Okay.
What did I sign myself up for?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is great. You know, it was cool seeing those that one piece that he was working on where he was just laying in the tones to figure out where the brights and spots were going to be and the things that were going to be more subdued. I always think that's cool. But yeah, no, this is nice. As you know, and when I first saw this piece, I thought, is this a bad scan? But this was intentional the way he's painted this. Let's see. Doc Savage by Ross Andrew and Jim Mooney. Mooney makes another appearance here. So, Doc Savage is not a book that I ever read, not as a paperback or in a comic.
This is a first for me because I actually picked this page because of the dialogue.
What?
Yeah, call me crazy. There's some good stuff going on here, but please, can you zoom in on what the villain is saying in that second to last panel? My life is ended. I fall.
Oh my goodness. Not yet, sniper. Not till we've talked and corded bronze muscles snap tight.
I saw that dialogue and I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Well, you're right. We have not picked, we talk about the art, but now we're going to talk about the dialogue.
And lettering is art, right?
It is. Oh, yeah. It is well lettered. This is wow. Well, everybody, the over the top, says Rick Welch, the real Bronze Age man.
We probably haven't also featured a page where the hero is making such extensive use of his belt.
No, not at all. Whip. Hey, look at that. He literally knocked the rifle out of that guy's hands.
Sure.
Folks.
He's Doc Savage Jr.
All right. Clud, says Rich Cirillo. All right. Oh, I am slain.
Too good.
Yes. And who is this? Oh, Sean Clancy. Hey, Sean's got it. Sean, well, we heard Sean's name earlier. He's keeping Bob Layton busy. So thank you, Sean, for doing that. And nice pickup here, my friend. 19-year member of CAF, Mr. Clancy. So what do we got here? We got Zek and DeMolder, Defenders 130 page. That's kind of cool. I mean, wow, that's really nice.
I kind of picked this because I don't remember Zach being on Defenders, so that to me made it stand out. But then, of course, the more I looked over it, I'm a huge Mike Zach fan. He's on my Mount Rushmore, as they say. And there's certainly nothing wrong with DeMolder on inks on this page, which that's also not a combo I was even aware of. So
it does kind of look like Batman, Marcus. You are right. That's true. When I saw the figure, Defenders was not what I first thought of when I saw this. But I really like that last panel. That's pretty. The way the lighting is on that. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's just a nice page. Who? Eddie S. Got this one. How does Mad Dog look? That's the name of the character, Mad Dog.
Mad Dog, okay.
Let's see here. Two more pieces. Got Thing versus Hulk. Well, I know you picked this because of the Thing.
Yeah. Some of these John Byrne commissions that he was doing during that period, are really, really good. And I feel like this is one of the better ones that I think I've seen from around that time. So it's got, my favorite characters on it and probably drawn by, I would say, arguably one of the best, artists who draw him. So, that was certainly a huge factor. But I really, honestly, I think the thing I like the most about this commission, or, what I think this is a commission, but is Hulk's face. Hulk's got a really I don't know, ape-like kind of look to his face in this that, it didn't seem Byrne-y to me. I mean, obviously this is, John Byrne all over this, but I felt like he was trying something different with the Hulk's face.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not reminiscent of his run on Hulk at all. But yeah, this is a pretty great piece. I mean, you could have done. I mean, it's kind of he's kind of got them in these squat poses like they're sumo wrestlers or something going at each other, but it kind of packs the energy in better that way too. I mean, if they were standing upright, this thing would be totally different. So
yeah, the way the figures are kind of wedged together like that is nice.
Yeah, no, this is a good piece. Now, who? Let's see here. Oh, I'm on the wrong tab. Let me go over to here. So, oh, Brian Norton. Brian, congrats. That is a really, really, really nice piece.
It's a beauty.
And it was from 2010. I think it had on there. Burn, baby, burn, says Jason. Last but not least, our good friend, loving the Travis pieces here. Let me highlight this one, get that thing. Wow, Jonathan got Mr. Wayshak just got another commission request. He might be loaded up.
This is the pick of the litter so far, in my opinion, for this, these most recent Travis commissions.
Wow.
And I think what I like the most about it is actually, in some ways, this feels like a kind of, I guess, meeting of the styles, so to speak, because it's got old Travis feel to it, but with like current Travis execution, if that makes sense. I mean, I think the techniques that he has on display here are all obviously things that he's mastered, but it's also got a little more like, I don't know, it's almost like his old style and his current style, like, mutated.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. It's like you can almost tell from the pose of the character it's a Travis piece, right? Because like with Space Girls or whatever. I mean, Big Gun, kind of the same thing. But you're right. I mean, it does have a little bit of his old feel to it. I like this piece a lot, and it is one of the standout pieces I think from the week. I bet it probably. I mean, how many comments did it get? I'd like to think it got a few. Yeah, 27.
Well, it belongs to Aranga. That helps with the comments.
Yeah, well, he's a social butterfly.
Yeah, he's a bit of a local celebrity.
Yeah, he is. Boo, Aranga, boo. 8 of 10. Only. Oh my goodness! Only 2 duds this week, Snork.
Now the picks are we're picking the art, and then the pickings are being rated.
Aranga. I like the fact that Aranga kind of sticks to a lot of commissioning kind of pieces, right? I mean, he has a good eye for things, and he's been very fortunate, I think, in the commissions that he's got from people. That this is really, really solid,
and it's massive too.
Oh, 13 by 19. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's wall power right there.
Yeah. Wow. That is really nice. Well, Aranga won your picks there. I'd put that Sinat piece close second, though. That's a really nice piece.
Let's not rank them either.
No, let's not do that. You're absolutely right. Let's not do that. All right. So we'll do my 10 now. And let's see here. I picked a piece that actually Colin featured too, but I liked it a lot and felt it should get picked again.
I hope it's the one I think it is.
Oh, it's probably not. I don't know.
Oh wow.
Well, we'll find out. You'll tell me. Let's see here. Window share. Come on. So it's first piece in the list. So I think we saw this piece even like a year or two ago when it was up at auction. I feel like. But this is in Dino's Calf Gallery. I mean, anytime you get a good Wrightson out there, it's hard to not pick it. And this one's just, it was funny. At first, I wasn't gonna do it, and then when I decided to look at the detail, when I clicked on it, I was like, wow, it's just too nice not to feature it. I mean, it's an unfinished piece, but it's so cool to see the pencil work in there. We were talking like with Wayshak earlier when he was talking about, I'm more of a loose penciler and I do most of my work in the ink, but I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, you look at this piece and you just know that Bernie knows what he's doing or knows what he intends to do back there, especially when you see what he's finished here in the background with these trees that are so far away. I mean, I think this thing is a masterpiece. I mean, it's just freaking unbelievable. And Dino's got to be doing cartwheels, somersaults,
Did Dino add the size?
I don't recall.
It looks significant.
It's a 20 by 14.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing.
Whew.
But yeah, he should be out there shouting at the top of his lungs like his team just won the pennant. His neighbors are going to call the cops on him. Look at it; it's just freaking amazing. Why would and you wonder why? Of all, I mean, obviously all the plates that Bernie worked on were fantastic. This one was like moving right along to be like an incredibly finished piece. So
Yeah.
so anyways, yeah, congrats.
I think you're right though. I really think the pencil element adds visually, like if you hold this thing unto itself, like just as a standalone piece of art, I think that does things for this visually that make it more interesting in some ways.
It does. No, I agree with you. Gosh, just amazing. All right, well there you go. Dino really knocked that one out of the park. Wonderful piece here. Lots of views too. That's phenomenal for a week. 59 comments. Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, all right, Aranga, you didn't win the week.
He's the dean of calf.
Yes, he is. Speaking of burn, though, I know you had picked the one, and I had picked this one earlier to use as a show graphic. I was like, I'm still sticking by my pick on this one, and I didn't change the show graphic. It's a great piece. It's in Malcolm Bourne's calf gallery. This one, you get the X-Men and Teen Titans.
Yeah,
it's just a solid piece with lots of characters, and I'd love to own this piece. You get Cyclops front and center practically. Well, he's okay. He's not center. He's front. He's more prominent than, look at Wolverine. Looks a little, little diminutive, I think, in this one. So, Cyclops could take him.
He is 5'3".
All right. He's got that working. Yes. Wow. I'm 2 of 2. Jason's giving me all the props tonight. I think he's just trying to do that to make you feel bad, Chris.
What's new?
Yes, cousin Malcolm, says Jerry. Anyway, I think this is a fantastic piece. Malcolm's got he has one heck of a collection as well. So yeah, great pickup for him. And then this one surprised me. A CFA APA cover by Trad Moore. I mean, obviously not many of us get to see CFA APA covers anyway, but the idea that they got Trad Moore to do a cover is just, it's kind of surprising. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had a lot of different people do covers for that. They always get somebody to do a custom cover for the CFA APA, usually tied somewhat to the theme that they're working on that month. I know they had a really great Hembeck cover recreation one time. That was when we did something on the Avengers. So yeah, this is totally cool, totally trad.
The more I look at this, you start to feel dizzy.
Right. Well, it's the background, man. I mean, and
it is
the figures. It doesn't bother me, but I start seeing the waviness. And
when I first saw this, I was like, wow, the anatomy is really distorted on this. But now when I look at it, is that a deliberate, is that something that's actually happening to the character as a result of what's making the lights all wavy in the background? You know what I mean? It's kind of like pulling him away.
Yeah, in a weird way, maybe.
Huh.
Are you starting to get into the head of Trad to figure out what makes him tick? How does he, does he work?
All that luxurious hair, I could never get into that head.
I know. I will never match up to Trad's hair, but yeah, you always wonder about those sorts of things. It's like, because Trad does have such a unique style, and he had everything has a structure. No matter how, when you look at something and you think that, he's just channeling Yellow Submarine and something else on LSD, there is a structure somewhere in there that kind of helps define his approach. And that's as valid a thought as anything else. Is it the backgrounds? Is it his concept of perspective that really drives his sense of
I'm wondering, it's like a visual stunt. You know what I mean? To create that effect that makes it look like the character's pelvis is being drawn. I don't know. It's wild.
It is wild. But Jason is now, he's told me I'm only working 2 or 3 now. All right, Jason, I get it. Marcus, it's a tough crowd tonight. You need to know.
He's absolutely right. I've said that before myself. I mean, before you have to know how everything works and what it's supposed to look like before you start taking liberties with it.
Yep. All right. So Harry posted a couple of vintage pieces this week, so I kind of debated which one to go with. This is from 1954, Kirby pencils and inks on this one, Fighting American. I forget what the other piece was, but it was equally as nice, and a Kirby piece that was definitely, I can't remember what it was from, but this one, this is just cool to see, to have a piece that's, this old, still out there. We're talking, what is it, 54, so it's almost 70 years, so it's getting there, getting pretty close. But just again, cool to me. It's like just seeing a piece like this still be in existence and not. You would think that there had to have some kind of like deacidification done to it at some point to kind of, so it's because otherwise you'd think that
some actual preservation effort.
You'd have to think so. I mean, you think that the glue stains around the stat logo would be really, really orange at this point, and it's not. I mean, I don't know, but either way, this is it's a nice piece to know that still exists. And what was the other piece? I want to go. I'm curious now what the other one was. I heard Harry was selling a few pieces, so maybe he was going after that. Where is the other one? Come on, Harry, I know it. Where the heck is it? Well,
was it last week? Might have
maybe
been.
It wasn't. Maybe that's an older piece.
A little longer ago.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's weird. Well, I guess I stumbled on that looking at some liked art, and I thought it was a new one. Well, okay. I guess that makes me 2 of 4, Jason. Still waiting to see it. He hasn't done it yet. All right. Well, this one I know is out there. Look at that.
I had this one on the pile for a bit myself.
Everybody knows I love Quietly, and everybody knows that Mr. Chuck Arnold loves Quietly, right? I mean, as far as authority goes, I mean, you can think of all the memorable images and stuff from so many different books, but for me, this is like one of the most memorable, troublesome images from the whole series, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so freaking amazing. So. Yeah. Oh,
I'll say what I said in Chuck's comment, which is I know that people really love the penciled stuff, but I think the ink stuff has its own appeal. And Trevor Scott did a hell of a job on this, in my opinion. I have an inked authority page. I just think they show better. If you're not going to like stand right over them in a portfolio, if you want to put one on the wall, I think like these inked ones are underrated.
Well, I'm quite certain that Chuck was thrilled to add this to his collection, and he gets a whole lot of notes on there from Vin as well.
Cool.
So yeah, very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. But it has a frame around it, Marcus says. It doesn't matter.
I'll hope to see it in Orlando.
That would be pretty cool if you brought that with him. I'd like to see that too. So I picked a Buscema piece too. I picked this cover. Yeah, I just thought this was slick. Whose collection is this? Somebody I don't think we've picked anything from before. Jose L. Comic Art. And how long have they been a CAF member? For a while. Look at that, 17 years. So he must have changed his handle, because I know I don't feel like I've seen it before. But he has a couple Buscema Conan covers. I just thought this was really, really nice. I mean, I kind of remember this, like the image. I remember seeing the cover and thinking, what is that, like the Blob from the, the 50s movie or something? But it's just so well done, man. I mean, I love it. I mean, you see a little bit of Joe Kubert in the piece.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't you? But yeah, this is it's a great, great image.
Who's the inker on this?
Who is the inker on this? Oh, it's Buscema. It's all Buscema.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you have it. I didn't know that. I figured it was somebody else too, but yeah. No, I just like this piece, like the structure on it. I love the composition, and yeah, it's a winner. And I remember reading something. Maybe it was when I was looking at his Kafka. The guy has a couple of them. Jose L. Comic Arts has that, and then this was in Daryl's Batcave. I'm always so used to seeing him with Batman related art, but this is a Kaluta, and let me see. Let me go highlight the card it was from. So some kind of card art. I don't even know what is this, what the game is, but either way, I like Kaluta's stuff. And let me just click over here. The thing is, when you look at it, he always has a very painterly approach to his stuff, right? But I love the way he just comes in with a solid line. He's not trying to do any shading with it. He's using it all to kind of define the structure of this really what's loose paint behind it, right? I just think
it's like really Mobius-y.
Yeah. So I liked his approach a lot to this piece. I mean, you know, I don't know. I've seen a lot of Kaluta art before, but I just thought this was a really, really nice piece. As simple as the background painting is, I mean, he goes in and does the ink work on it, and just pulls it all together beautifully.
Yeah, very nice effect on the armor, especially.
Yep. Let's see. What's my count now, Jason? How am I doing?
He's on to something else.
Yeah. Weak Kaluta example. I'm at 5 of 7 now. All right, Virgil Finlay. I probably won't get a count. I won't make it to 6 of 8 with this one, but I like Virgil's work a lot. I wish this was one that I could click on and make it a larger image. I just, I love the shading in here and in the face on both figures, and I just thought it was. I just think it's cool. I mean, I've never owned anything by Finlay before, but at some point I gotta correct that. I know there's the people who collect his artwork love it. And I don't think that they get out too often. But yeah, I'll have to fix this out. Very pointed piece. Thank you. Yeah, it is kind of a pointillism-y kind of thing, I guess you could say. Never try to guess along with me, says Jason. He's always going to mix it up, everybody. I'm 6 of 8 right now. And Troy says that we are blessed that there is a lot of Finlay.
I feel like Jason is like, he should have like an ESPN2 version of the show where like he talks about what's happening on
Hey, I just want to know what costume Jason was wearing for Halloween, because that he had that big thing. It looked like kind of a funky teddy bearish looking thing, but whatever was on his head was flipped back all the time, so I couldn't tell what the heck he was wearing. So now we know you started drinking when you were 14, Jason, but what were you wearing on Halloween night? Inquisitive minds. A giraffe. That was not a giraffe. Can you imagine Jason dressing up as a giraffe? That'd be like asking Wolverine to dress up as a giraffe for an X-Men Halloween costume party or something. The dogs were lions. I knew the dogs.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So the dogs chase him around. That's cute.
Probably ate him later that night. All right. So moving right along. Here's a piece by Eddie Newell. And I've always liked Eddie's work. And I couldn't tell you one thing he did that's published, because I always see stuff that are more commissioning based, but he's always had like a rough textured style to his things. And I actually owned something by him once. I don't know where I picked it up from. I don't own it anymore, but I've just always enjoyed his style on stuff. I think has he ever, I mean, I don't even know. Has he worked, and published work? I can't think of any, but I always see it. No, I mean, so all I see are kind of pinup pieces that you'd see on eBay. This is from 2010, and it's Superman of all things.
It's got kind of like a sadness to it for Superman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Maybe I think that's kind of what I like about it, which is like I'll use the word tonally, but I don't mean like grays and blacks. But I think tonally, it feels dark. Like dismal.
Jason just doesn't like this one because it's DC. And he says, rough is a good choice of words. Okay. Thank you. I like his stuff.
You're just encouraging him, Bill.
Yeah.
I mean, thing down there on the left or what?
Well, it's Juggernaut.
Oh, it's Juggy.
See, if I would have picked this one, Jason would have.
Oh, wow. 10 of 10.
There you go, Jason. Yep. All right. Anyway, Eddie Newell. I've always thought his stuff is pretty solid. So I got one more piece here. This is from Andy Worst's Cap Gallery. I just thought this one was funny because he is a big Spider Ham collector, and to me it's just it's the gag, right? You think it's Spider-Man, you're like, what the hell? And then it's it's Spider Ham's nose. I mean,
I always thought that was such a funny choice, like a funny design choice to put to mirror the lenses on the nostrils.
Right. Me too. And, so when I first saw the piece, I kept kind of glancing at it and just like, oh, whatever. It's, I'm looking at the thumbnail and I didn't think of it. And I'm like, all right, I'll click on it. And then I realized what's going on. I'm like, all right. If it makes you look, you might as well pick it. Right. And the other thing, I read the story. That was the other reason I picked it, because he writes, how cool is this cover? It was originally done all digitally, but my buddy Vic V got in touch with the artist and he agreed to do this recreation traditionally, meaning inks over digital pencils, and it was given to me for my birthday. Thank you so much. As a bonus, this was also a title page of issue 1, or blah, blah, blah. So the point being, that's cool. This friend decided, that, hey, you can't get this thing traditionally because it was done digitally, and he commissioned this. I mean, this hobby is such a good hobby.
I'm actually doing the same thing right now. Sean Isaacs did a real, in my mind, immortal DPS in the Thing versus Hulk saga, where the Thing is actually cold cocking the Hulk. He's knocking him out cold in the story, and in the process, he's like shattering his arm, so he's breaking his arm. And it was done digitally when it was published. The work was digital, and I was like, I can't not own that.
Very interesting. So, hey, did you see that Jason gave us a final tally? You won, apparently. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jason. I'm going to remember that for next week.
We're all winners, Jason.
That's right. We're all winners. Yeah. Deduct 5 points for no Mannix. Well, so there you have it. So
I think the Manning cast could be done by Marcus and Jason. They'll do the Manning cast on ESPN2, and they'll comment on what's happening on the update.
I kind of like that idea. I think they should. I really
You'd
think
like nest it in the bottom right corner.
Right. You just see them like ripping out their hair. Yeah, with a little with some kind of a score changing along beside them.
One of them has a shirt on that says stat.
Yeah, gee, I wonder which one would have that on.
I don't know.
It's funny, man. I'm looking back at that Playboy artwork. That's really a nice piece.
It looks like a spell.
I know something's
or like a postcard almost.
Roland Wilson. I mean, is that? Here, let's throw this thing back on the stage. I'm just kind of curious. Roland Wilson. Are we going to find other artwork out there by Roland Wilson?
It's not a name I know, but
no. Well, they got only 2 pieces on CAF, and they're not even finished like that one's. 3 dealer results. What dealers are selling Roland? Okay, well, the one heritage pick. Okay, that's is that out there right now? No, that would. Oh, that must have been. Is that in a signature auction? Huh. Okay, not as good as the other one, but I mean, again. Okay, well, so I don't know much about this guy then. That's now I'm even more curious that because I mean that piece is so beautiful. How can there not be more artwork by this guy?
Well, sometimes though, I don't know if you found this, but I've certainly seen it in people who do advertising art. They have to be able to do kind of like what the client is asking for, and so you don't see them use a significant or a consistent style. Like their work like looks like it jumps all over the board because it's like that was the job.
Right.
But with something that's a cartoon, I mean, you would think that he probably did more than one that way.
True. Well, I might Google him after the show to figure out what else he did, because clearly he didn't do a lot of other things at least in our hobby. Steve Lipsky, what's he say? Roland has several pieces on Heritage. Well, then that's weird that there's only 2 collected pieces on CAF. I mean, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense then. But all right, well, hey, it is what it is. So all right, we got 72 likes. I don't know how we did that when we were already even earlier at 63 or whatever it was. But thank you everybody for throwing your thumbs up on the show tonight. We sincerely appreciate it. Chris, thank you as always for doing your picks, my friend. We'll be at it again next week.
Yes, sir.
All right. So hey, it's a little bit over midnight, but that's okay. We're gonna call it a night. We thank you for tuning in with us. We will be. I'll be at it again on Saturday. Chris will be back here next Thursday. You guys have a wonderful evening. We'll see you again soon.
Bye.